said my shut up, and there it was.
Minus 100 degrees, tell the truth when I'm running the streets. And went from the stove to a hook in a beat. That came for the gang and like woke up a beast.
Towering over.
Is it too loud for you?
No, it's perfect.
Welcome everybody to our second episode of the Knockout Artist.
I can hardly hear you.
You can hardly hear me.
Yeah.
Every time I hear live. How about now?
I can hear you better now.
Okay. So let's see. How about now?
This is perfect.
This is perfect. Okay. Yeah, I had to turn that down a little bit. Yeah. Everybody, welcome to the second episode of the Knockout Artist. I got my co-host on the way, but taking sweet ass time. We'll wait someone else. I am Prince Savage. And I want to introduce my white nigga. Y'all gonna figure out in a little bit why I call him that, but he's the guest of the day, Jeff Mavericks. Metrics.
There's no S on the end either. It's metric.
Metric. I should have got that down before we started. Yeah, we're gonna wait till the other podcast, my KIG come on, and we're gonna get into the good stuff. How was your week?
My week's been good. Just working.
I appreciate that. I feel you. Same here.
I'm also on TikTok now. I'm on TikTok.
Oh man, we gotta catch you. Yeah, just 2 months back, I was waiting. 2 months ago.
Can you speak up? I can hardly hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, a few months back, man, Jeff was on my live, and he took over the whole live. He took over the whole live and had the people buzzing. So I've been waiting for this day to get you on my podcast. We talked about after that live. He said some real ass shit that woke up a lot of people, got a lot of people's attention. And we were just there to get.
I've got something today that is just showing how everything is slanted one way. Because I'm going to talk about an article I found on Vox. VOX, not Fox, Vox.
Vox. Yeah, we with it. We want all the. This is an uncensored podcast. Uncensored. We want to hear all that. Tom, how was your weekend?
My weekend was beautiful, man. You know, did this, a little bit of that. Did a new job.
You know, we good. How you doing?
What's
Hondo? Hold on, you need the sound effects for that. Hold on. Congratulations to Tom for his new job.
I like your intro with the Tyson Fury knockout, but you got to show the second part.
I knew
once he sat up, Tyson sat up. Wilder was done at that point. He knew he had lost. You even saw the look in his eyes when the dude just kind of sat up like the Undertaker, like, okay, I hit him with the best I got, and he got up. But that was Dante's best punch. If you watch that fight, that was the best punch he had that entire fight.
Yeah.
And it takes a real man to get up from getting rattled like that. Because Dante ain't no joke with the strength.
No. And the only reason I have it like that is because I kind of went viral on TikTok when I made that little snippet, so I put that on there. I'm a Deontay Wilder head, so I just love anything Deontay. I love Tyson Fury too. I don't love him, but I respect him.
Yeah, I respect anyone who can get knocked down like that and then get up.
Facts.
And just be like, okay, I just got hit with the best you got. Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to hit you with the best I got.
Yeah,
That was a great fight.
I'm not gonna lie, he shocked the fuck out of me on that fight. I didn't see it coming, but he gained and earned my respect. We gonna have some Tyson Fury stuff on here too, but see in the black community, Deontay just he's like our Ali. It's not even what he do in the ring; it's outside the ring what he stand for. You know what I mean? The stuff that
Yeah.
he represents, and we don't have that right now in the black community like we used to. Like we don't have like a modern day Martin Luther King or Malcolm X or a Tupac figure sort of.
No, you have people that use race and hustle race as an excuse to make money.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's really sad.
I love Floyd Mayweather.
I like Floyd too. I think he is, for his weight class, he is the best. He's the best that ever was.
Yeah.
But I don't think if he went up in weight class, I don't think he would be able to keep his same speed.
No.
His game was speed.
Yeah. If he packed too much weight, because even when he went to like 154, you could tell he was a little bit slower. But then he go back to 147, the speed was there all over again. But at 150, he never belonged there. He never even weighed. He always weighed like 152, 150. He never even weighed the full 154 because he just couldn't pack on that much weight. And then he looked so much bigger. But you know, I love Floyd, but he didn't represent the black culture like Deontay did. Like Deontay would say stuff that people were scared to say. You know what I mean? And he mean it from the bottom of his heart because he's from Tuscaloosa. You know, Alabama is you know, they still got some type of segregation in that part of the South type shit. So, like, I just what Deontay would represent, and he wasn't a sellout. You can never, you can't pay that man to sell out. You know what I mean? I feel like you can pay Floyd to sell out. Deontay, he's like
you can also pay LeBron and Spike, which I'm going to talk about tonight in the crypto industry.
I didn't hear that to him.
Mayweather already sold out. He been sold out.
I know that.
Like he talks about how he from California, this and that. Nigga, you from motherfucking Gun Group, Grand Rapids, Michigan. And all of a sudden you say fuck Michigan. I'm from California. Fuck out of here. Nigga.
I would say actually fuck California and Michigan. Both of them are equally corrupt and fucked up.
Oh, ain't no question.
I know that.
No
Look,
question.
I'm from Compton. My nigga here from Michigan. Yeah, he's my cousin. So, and
I'm not corrupted.
We not corrupted. No.
Just a little bit.
No, I meant the governments are corrupted.
Oh yeah.
God.
That's what
I say the government and a lot of the people.
Yeah, they are. It's insane. Like, California, I'm going to touch on this too. California actually says if you leave the state and you're a millionaire, they want to be able to come and get your tax money after you leave the state.
Yeah.
Or did you also hear California has a jock tax that if like LeBron, like if he was in Cleveland and he played against the Lakers, the Clippers, or Golden State, that game check gets taxed in California.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
It's a lot of corrupted stuff going on right now. I think personally, and I hope they don't come for me saying this shit, I think the fucking America for sale right now. I think we
No, it's not America's for sale. The entire human race is for sale. Because I'm gonna talk about the WEF, and I'm gonna give a YouTube channel. Hold on, I'm getting that feedback again.
I got you.
Okay, I'm just gonna deal with it. But the WEF, the World Economic Forum, meets in Davos every year, and they're talking about 15-minute cities. They're talking about there's a lot of stuff going on that people are not talking about. And this YouTube channel, it's not mine. I'm promoting. It's called Coin Bureau. This guy talks about crypto, about everything that's going on, like the WEF, some of the stuff they're wanting to propose and move through. Like, we're live, right?
We are live. We live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube right now at the same time.
Okay. This Coinbase on YouTube, or Coin Bureau on YouTube, he's a great guy. He knows what he's talking about. Another thing I want to bring up is the 15-minute city idea. I don't know, probably not a lot of people have heard about this. Have you heard about it, Prince?
I have not yet, but you definitely intriguing me.
A 15-minute city is basically a city where everything you need is within 15 minutes. You're really not allowed to leave the 15-minute area, and it's all in walking distance. It's about control. They're actually experimenting with it in England right now. You get fined, and you have to get permission to go outside the 15-minute area. It's called a 15-minute city. It's designed to eliminate pollution with car travel. Make cities more walkable. It's all about control. And like Coin Bureau, he talks about synthetic CBDCs, which are central bank digital currencies.
Mm.
Basically, that would give a central bank like the Federal Reserve say, oh, you're not going to have cash anymore. We're going to get rid of cash. You're going to get a central bank digital currency. They will then be able to control your entire life.
Jeez.
Because they'll have control of the coin. It won't be a DeFi coin. It'll be a centralized coin.
Yeah, they've been talking about that for about, the last time I heard it was about 10 years. They were talking about they were going to be doing that, making everything digital.
But the problem is, and then you have to get real ID involved, which means everything has to be covered by KYC, which is a form of authentication, which is basically, I did this for one of the cryptos I'm working on, that I'm using, and it's called Pi. And what you do is you have to show a license, and then you have to do a right, left, and speak so that it verifies you're a real person.
Mark of the beast.
All biometric data. And you have no control over that at that point, because the WEF last year, the year before, said by 2030 you will own nothing, have no privacy, and be happy.
Well,
You look at like Agenda 2030, even though people say this is conspiratorial, you go to the EPA's website. If an area becomes too toxic, like what is going on in Ohio, Texas, now out in Portland, with the train derailments, they actually took like and tossed rocks into the water, and the water starts to shimmer like oil.
Oh shit!
There's a guy on my TikTok. He was in Louisville. It was an overcast day and raining, and birds were just dropping dead.
wow.
Governor DeWine was on. Here's how you know it's bad: is when Fox and Friends basically started nailing DeWine, the governor of Ohio,
Right.
and as they started the questioning, he kind of laughed. We don't need to worry about black and white anymore. We need to worry about the people in power that we keep electing.
Yeah, boy.
Because I don't know, did you see the live that I was on with Prince when we were at UCAR?
I barely be on social media, man.
I'll look if you still got it. I can show them after we done.
Okay. Because I talked about it and going into the whole Vox article, they talk about like how slaves, when they were freed, had the Freedmen's Bank. That went insolvent even after Frederick Douglass took over. And it really disenfranchised a lot of African Americans when it came to banking. But then you had the crypto boom, and you had people like Spike Lee and LeBron James promoting crypto as a way of getting wealth. The only problem is African Americans, particularly under 40, invested heavily in it and didn't necessarily have the capital to risk and lose. And they didn't do their due diligence to actually go and figure out, because everyone was marketed and sold a certain thing. I've fallen for being marketed something that turned out to bite me in the ass. And guess what? I had to learn from it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't do your due diligence, it's no one's responsibility to do the due diligence for you. It's your responsibility as a person to do your own due diligence on anything you put your money in. If you say, my friend told me this stock is going to go to the moon, or Dogecoin is going to go to the moon, don't trust your friend. Go and do your independent research. Because you trust your friend, he may be stupid and not know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And then you are on the hook. You're over leveraged now. Now you're scrambling to make ends meet, and you didn't have the money to invest in the first place.
Set yourself up for failure, pretty much.
Because that's a problem, and in the African American community, is financial literacy. Because, like I told in the live, gentrification is not the problem of white people, Asians, Middle Eastern people. It's the leaders in the community telling people, "Oh, there's no economic opportunity here, but everyone else can see it." It's infanticizing African Americans because they're not being told, "Hey, there's economic opportunity for us in our neighborhoods." No, it's blame everyone else instead of taking accountability and going, "Why aren't we investing in our communities? Why aren't we buying up property? Why are we in line for 2 days to buy the newest Jordans coming out and it's a goddamn tennis shoe?" Like, let's be real, $250, get cooperative economics going and get 10, 20, 30 people to buy tax lien buildings that are going for $5-10. Like, and it can be, and people can get mad at me for saying this as a white person, and I don't give a damn. I'm to the point in my life I don't care anymore. I'm going to speak the truth because people need to wake up. This isn't black, white. This isn't Asian, Hispanic, black, white. None of this. This is people versus people that don't have our best interests at heart and never have had our best interests at heart. They're only worried about their next election. When you look at it, look at Chicago, Detroit, New Orleans, Baton Rouge. What do those four cities have in common?
Poverty.
That's one. But the biggest one is they've been democratically controlled for the better part of 40, 50 years. And has the lot of the African American improved in those cities by any measurable metric? No. Crime, drug use, all this other stuff has not improved. It's gotten substantially worse because it's not allowing people to truly be free and build businesses. It's saying that, oh, you're not good enough to do it. You're not smart enough. You're not educated enough. I don't patronize people and say, I'm going to be your savior. No. Your savior is yourself. Inside of you is your savior. It's never going to be external to you because you're counting on. I like to push an agenda. That is true. People, and we all have agendas in this group. Everyone has an agenda. I have an agenda. My agenda is you're responsible for yourself. I no longer have a responsibility to anyone else unless I choose to. I choose to educate people. I choose to help people wake up. Am I obligated to? Hell no. I could be asleep right now. But you want to know something? I enjoy this. This is my passion. Politics, personal development. This is all my passion. We need to understand this. That it's not voting for the next Democrat, the next Republican to solve these issues. This is our issues we need to solve as people. We need to understand that we're not against each other. We need to be united. We need to be united because I'll give you a great example. The Michigan State shooter. If you watch the mainstream media, they said he was a man that wore a mask. And the problem was, is they didn't mention his race. But if it was a white person, what would they have said? A white person, right? He was African American. Notice nothing got said about this race. Why is that? It doesn't fit the narrative of dividing us.
You see, I call him my white nigga. This is a nigga. This is a nigga. This is the nigga that we need. I will vote for Jeff for president. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Thank you.
You're right. You're right.
And they're right. They fear unity. They have to keep us divided. And when you look at it, people talk about African Americans or whites are the top of the socioeconomic ladder. We're actually not. When you look at it statistically, who has the most wealth per capita in this country? It's not me. It's not you. It is Asians.
You said Egyptians?
Asians, like Japanese,
Oh,
Chinese, Koreans.
oh, he going deep into it now. Okay. Yeah.
Because when you look at people that go to college, 33%, about 33 to 36% of whites go to college, 37% of blacks go to college, like 60% of Asians go to college, and 70% of Indians go to college.
I was gonna say the Middle Easterns is right up there with the Asians to me.
Yep.
Hmm.
And that's the part that we need to understand. There has to be unity in the community, because we get monolith and typecast. Democrats view all African Americans as the same. You're not. You, your cousin, have different goals, wants, and ambitions and dreams in life. That's why one of the key things I said was the smallest minority in the world is the individual, because no two people are alike in a family even. You can have people in the family that don't want to do anything, and you can have people in the family that have insane drive and ambition. They're not the same. They don't have the same experiences. I'll give you a great example. I believe it was Donald Trump's father was an alcoholic. Or no, it was Donald Trump's brother was an alcoholic. And because he saw how his older brother was, he said, I am never touching alcohol in my life. Same environment growing up, two different outcomes. So it really becomes down to a nurture and nature. Because when you look, let's go back to before you had the Great Society and the creation of Section 8 in the late 60s, early 70s under Johnson. The unwed single mother rate in the African American community was about 13%, which was about statistically across all demographics. However, you get a generation gone, and now, or 2 generations gone, it's almost 70%. You look at people in prison. Most of the men in prison came from single-parent households with no father figure. You statistically look at it, and these statistics are all available. You can just search them. You're like 4 times more likely to have a child out of wedlock, 4 times more likely to be involved in illicit activities, drop out of high school, not graduate, and be in the same spot your parents were.
This is what you said on our live, and I remember that. I love what he's doing. This all happens when the government made the agenda to strip the black man away from home.
Yep.
Get out of the black home.
Yeah, that's welfare and all that shit was built for, to break down families.
Yep. It's built to break down families, because if you don't have, because I very much stepped into my masculine energy after being homeless. And I realized that kids need both a man, a mom and a dad in the family, because you know who a daughter's first love is? Her father. Her father's supposed to teach her how a man is supposed to treat her. A boy's first love is his mother. It's the Oedipus complex. I'll throw a psychology term in there. And when this happens, you have that natural you have a natural dichotomy there. Because there are certain things women can do that men just can't do. There are certain things men can do that women can't do. And this applies even when we go into modern feminism. I got a question, Prince. Do you want a woman with a high body count to be your wife?
Hell no.
Why?
No.
Why though? Why don't you want one? Say that again. You're breaking up.
Yeah, your microphone sucks.
Okay, IG?
The microphone sucks.
I think it's your microphone. You shit, man. That's that nigga. Can you hear me?
Yes, that's a lot better. There's no more static in the background.
No, I was saying because to me that means that she pretty much ran through. She's no longer special to me at that point, because what makes me special? Where's the value?
But why don't you want a girl with a high body count? There's a biological reason.
Is it biological? I'm not sure about the biological.
When a
It was good. sounds like you're pretty much saying like, why do you? It's embedded in us to think that we shouldn't have a woman with a high body count.
No, it's actually something very different. We want to guarantee paternity of the kid. Think about that.
Yeah.
And also, when a woman has sex with a man, the man releases a hormone to where he becomes protective of her. A woman releases the hormone that causes her to pair bond. And the more she has sex with different men, the more calcified and harder it is for her to pair bond with the final person.
I was thought about the ties.
Huh?
I was always thought about just the ties.
Nope, it's biological. It's evolutionary biology. It's all psychology. And they actually have done studies that show that women that have less than 5 partners are actually statistically less likely to get divorced because divorce is initiated 70 to 80% of the time by women. This is all facts you can look up if you don't believe what I'm saying.
That's all because a woman has more to gain in divorce. A man doesn't gain. A woman has everything to gain in the divorce. Like a man doesn't. A man does not go to divorce. The great thing he'll try to fix. He doesn't earn anything out of divorce. A divorce will tarnish your reputation. It will cost you money. It'll cost you.
Perfect. I can hear him now perfectly.
Your kids. Is. That's why a lot of young men or men in this generation don't do marriage nowadays because it's something that could hurt them in the long run, especially if the women are not loyal.
Yeah, and here's the thing: we've all had side pieces, and we don't even let our friends mess with the side piece, do we? That's that chemical we release in our brain to become protective because that is inherently the masculine role is to protect the feminine. But when you have females that become more masculine and stay in that energy, we as masculine males do not want to be in that energy because it's we might as well be gay if we want to deal with another masculine energy. We don't want to try to control you. We want a partner that's going to be our peace. It's not going to be giving us a lot of static over some dumb shit.
Amen.
And that's why you see a lot, you look at the people that are passport bros, they are leaving the country. But you want to know something? Women that say we don't need men like that are the very same women that are pissed off that they're leaving and throwing the women that these guys are going to meet under the bus, calling them uneducated, poor, say it's for sex trafficking. No, that's not what it is at all. Because what I want in a woman is someone who is fit, friendly, and feminine. That's the only 3 requirements we really have as men, right? Because do you want to be with someone who is 300 pounds? No. Exactly.
At the end of the day, to me, it's not about your physical form. It's about like you said, feminine. I don't want a girl who's trying to be tougher than me. I'd rather have dainty and polite and kindness over someone that's trying to take over the room in their presence. I'd rather have someone who's more who different energy. Females have different energies. So when they there's new things, especially with the hip hop crowd or the songs, they try to have this bad bitch energy. To me, that's tarnishing what a woman's really supposed to be. That's why I feel like it's hard for men to find what they're looking for because we don't want something that's aggressive and tears the club up and stuff like that. We want someone that's polite, that's generous, that's what we look for. And like you said, if you ain't got a lot of miles on you, then that appreciates your value because then you like gold. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
If I take you out, there's no one gonna be like, oh yeah, I've had her. I know what she's about. I slept with her. If you get someone with a lot of miles on her and someone else has already had her, you don't want that because that
makes you look bad.
That
makes you as a man.
That's like having a sandwich off the ground. This sandwich is good. People are like, hell no, that sandwich. Why you eat a sandwich off the ground? Don't you want it on a plate? That's the same way with how the modern day the women are not all of them, but the way the media and the agenda is today. That's what they're pushing, and that's why things are the way it is now.
Yeah. And like another thing I talked on Princess Live was something. Have you ever heard of the author Thomas Sowell?
No.
You might want to look him up. He's like 93, 94 years old. He's an African American. He was in Reagan's Labor Department. He was born and raised in Harlem, New York.
Okay.
And he put himself through college. And he actually had a really neat saying. You know, like how like some Africans will say African Americans have no real culture. That's a lie. They actually do. When you look at the south of the United States, was initially settled by people from Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. And the culture of those areas was very much not respecting education, violent, and that was when you had the Great Migration to the north, that was the culture that was brought with it. When you really look at it historically, that's how it was. And he talks about that in his book, Black Rednecks and White Liberals. Because that was the culture that everyone was brought up in during slavery and during Reconstruction.
Oh yeah, we can blame Jim Crow for that. We definitely have culture. It's just we've been taught. It's just like back in the day, anytime the England or whatever you want to call it, when they went to a different city, whatever, they took the tribe and they get rid of whatever they were teaching, got rid of their guidance, and they implemented English, and they implemented their churches, they implemented their their ways of living. That's why there's metric system, and then they have the
imperial system.
Exactly. So there's different, just even like the one universal language throughout the whole world is blueprint. That's the one thing we all can agree upon. But it's just like when it comes to something like culture, we have it. We just have to read. We have to do our own research. And at the same time, we have to embrace our family. Like the more we get connected, like you said, a lot of people go into prisons. They only have single parent. When you lose that, you also lose a piece of your culture. You also lose a piece of your heritage. You can't if you have one parent in the family, how are they gonna instill their their beliefs and cultures in there when they're trying to pay the bills and take care of you, make sure you're safe? There's so much going on that you almost
then you get sent to a public school, which is basically modern day schools are basically like prisons. Stand here, don't do this, walk this. No,
the straight road. Your hand when you want to talk, all that, yeah.
Because the Prussian model that we use in this country was actually really brought to this world by John D. Rockefeller because it made you an employee.
Oh yeah.
When you look at classical learning throughout Western history, because that's the only history I can speak on because I'm German and Lithuanian. That's the only history I really know. I'm gonna be perfectly frank. Is classical learning was you learned Latin, Greek, arithmetic, astrology. You learned stuff like that expanded you and forced you to think.
Yeah.
You weren't conditioned and programmed to follow orders. That's why I do DoorDash, because I don't follow orders well. I try to do the 9 to 5, the corporate, the normal, what everyone says you should do. Yeah, that shit don't work for me. I have to do my own thing. That's why I do my TikTok, I do YouTube, I do stuff like this. I just talk about this stuff because it's so important that we understand that it's not about, yet again, I go back to this, it's not black versus white. It's people who want to wake up and want a better world. I want a world that if people want to form their own ethnocentric states, I'm cool with that. I'm really cool with that. If people want to form a communist state, go for it. But the one thing no one has a right to do is demand that you pay for it, or to demand that you give them a good or a service. If I have a candle company and I make great candles, which I might go back into because I used to make candles, I'm going to sell them to you. I'm not going to give them to you. You have no right to demand that I give you anything because I don't owe you anything. No one owes you anything. You owe yourself for everything you have in this world. You owe yourself. You can be born poor. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you die poor, that's your fault. You have to look in the mirror and go, I failed myself. That's why I stayed poor. I could have done better. But when you're told that you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're too disadvantaged, guess what happens? Instead of seeing opportunities everywhere, you see obstacles. And that's the problem. Everyone gets tripped up over what they perceive to be obstacles. It's actually an opportunity to build your wealth, your generational wealth. There's a need for a lot of stuff in this world. Walmart out here in Scottsdale is having trouble hiring employees. Someone should create a company that contracts people to work the cashiers as Walmart. You employ people and you create a business for yourself and you build generational wealth for your family. Wow, that's a novel idea. Why don't other people think of this? There's so many opportunities out here if you just look around of stuff that can be done more efficiently. That's what capitalism is breeding more efficiency. Like, I'm for privatizing the police. And you know why? Because me and you, Prince, we both have competing companies in Glendale, let's say. What's our incentive? What's your incentive to hire the best quality employees?
You said, what's my best percentage?
What's your incentive to hire the best quality officers for your company?
I mean, at this point in the economy that we're on right now, I'd say a good high pay, decent insurance, life insurance, because they're putting their life on the line. So that's
No. I said, what's your incentive as the business owner to hire the best quality officers? What's your incentive to do that? I want to see how your mind works.
okay. My incentive would be protecting the business.
How? How do you protect the business?
Because you want me to elaborate on hiring the best, like for section.
Why would you hire the best? I'll let you finish, then I'll tell you why I would hire the best.
I will hire the best because I want the best result. I want the best protection. I want the best. I want
Why?
the community to respect me and be safe.
Why? What's the why behind that? It's deeper than that. Especially you're a business owner.
Nobody no longer respects the police.
That part.
Everybody looks at the police like they're terrorists. They don't give a fuck about nobody. They're just here to do a job. Get some money. My granddad used to be a police officer. He was fired because he was a man of the community. He did not arrest him for having a penner of weed or a little bit of cocaine. He'd dump it out and tell you to go home.
Yep.
That's being too nice.
For me, but here, let me explain. The reason I asked the question is my incentive to hire the best quality officer for my security company is because people don't just live in Glendale. They live in Tempe, Mesa. If people go and say, wow, Liberty Security really did a phenomenal job, I get contracts to those places now too. I increase my bottom line. As a business owner, your job is to increase the revenue of your company. That is your sole responsibility.
So is your incentive reputation or peacekeeping?
My incentive is money.
Okay.
Because think about it. Because what is the incentive of the police force we have now to hire the best quality? They're the only game in town. They have a monopoly. They have no incentive.
But
if
you think about it, at the end of the day, the city's goal is the same as what you just said, is money. Because if they can get someone on cheap, someone who doesn't really have an education, someone who's not even, they don't like, there's no test, there's no, like certain police, certain states, they do have a program like the Boston Police or like the higher ups, you do have to pass a fitness course. But if I wanted to go join Cook County Police, there's not really a program that I have to do to prove myself worthy as a police. So, and that saves the city money to not, take care of anything. So it's like if money is your bottom line for your incentives of hiring police, it's a fine line between corruption and peacekeeping.
I think you missed the point of what I said.
No, I'm
point.
Looking at it black and white. That's all.
But I'm looking at it from a business owner's point of view. It's like, why do you employ the best people? Because you increase business. And so in turn, if I'm
saying what you would do, you saying what they already is doing.
I'm saying there's no competition for the police. So they have no incentive to hire. If me and you, Prince, have competing companies, we have to compete against each other to provide the best quality service at the lowest price to the taxpayer. So I want to increase contracts in other cities. I'm going to hire the best, pay them the best. I may not make as much money in the initial term, but in the long run, I'm going to make more because I'll have more contracts with other cities. It becomes an exponential game at that point.
Your name will
That's
be,
how I... Huh?
your name will be out there pretty much, and it'll be a great reputation.
Yes, and I'll have that reputation of being a good employer, and I protect the area that I'm hired to protect.
Yeah,
People don't...
better result, pretty much. You have the better result. And people
Exactly. That's the free market solution to that problem, because then people talk to other people and you get word of mouth and you start being able to build a company that way. And guess what? Because there's no intellectual property and there's no way I can keep a monopoly, I have to keep hiring the best and find the best, because, Prince, you can start a competing company against me and underbid me and offer better benefits and knock me out. That's how it works. But when you only have one option in town, which is Phoenix PD or Scottsdale PD, there is no incentive for them. At the end of the day, if you allow people to truly have a profit motive and incentive, they will strive to be the best they can be.
So your incentive would be reputation then.
Yep. Reputation leads to profit.
Exactly.
But my initial thought is always, how do I make my company profitable?
Well, yeah, that's always the surface thought. But like you said, if it's deeper than that, if your main goal is always to make money, because that's the definition of business. Anything that makes money. But if you're deep, your deeper root, your deeper thought at the end of the day is reputation. Well, that's what that's how you get your name out there. That's what drives you to be better and hire the best. Not really money.
No, but when you look at it from a business owner's point of view, everything leads back to money. Reputation leads to increase in revenues. Exactly. Because if you have a reputation for being a shit company, like I've worked for a couple of shit companies, it's like you have a bad reputation, you have high turnover. That costs the company more money because you have to train more people and you don't get the same production. So ultimately, everything, because this is the one thing I've learned in my life at 39 years old. Everything in this world is economics. At the end of the day, everything is economics. And do you know why I say that? Because what is the one currency we all have? We all have the same amount of currency. There's only one currency that is.
What do you mean, like we all have the same, like in the United States or global?
No, we as people, we all have one currency that we get every day, and we have to choose how to use it.
Oh, time.
Yep. Time. Everything is economics because time is currency. And economics is a choice. Like, you can choose to wake up early, make yourself a really nice breakfast, or you can go, or the other option is I can sleep in and pour myself a bowl of cereal and milk and some toast. You make the choice. You say, okay, I want to wake up because the extra 30 minutes of sleep is not worth it when I can have a really nice breakfast. Or vice versa. It's economics. Economics is choice. I said, what it is at the end of the day, it's a choice. You make the choice.
I'll give you that choice. I'll give you that. Like, just like you say, you can be born poor, but just the way you end up, it's not fate or whatever. Like you said, it's choice. It's how you did you go to college? Did you apply yourself? Did you work jobs? So I'll give you that. Everything is a choice. But there's a lot of unexpected variables, and that's why they call the game life, because it's not about what you put out, it's what you can take.
But even with unexpected variables, you still have a choice in the matter. Everything is a choice. You can choose. I can work an extra 40 hours, but I may miss my child's baseball game or dance recital. Yet again, that's a choice. I can choose. You have a choice. Like, there was a guy in Chicago. You from Chicago? Shut up.
The Rockford area.
Rockford, okay. I actually lived in Chicago for 7 years,
Okay.
and I lived in Stager for most of that. So if you know where that is, yeah. But like, there was a kid. He got in a car that was stolen, and they ran down a street the wrong way, and kid got killed. He made choices. Like, why you get in your buddy's car if you believe it's stolen? Even if you have a gut instinct, that little voice in the back of your head that goes, this may not be the smartest idea, and you still go through with it, you made a choice. It's not an unexpected variable. You made a choice. Even with the variables, you make choices.
Well, what about like the kids who get shot up in schools? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's unexpected. Like, what about the dad, right? Before he went to work, he dropped his kid off at school, and then he gets that phone call. There was a school shooting. You know, that's something that affects your life. You know, it's
Yes.
like, yeah, it's a choice to keep moving forward. But something like that, it's hard on your soul. It's hard on your marriage. It's hard on the family members around you, and it's hard on your day-to-day tasks. But that kid who's not here no more, well, he's in a better place. Hopefully, amen. But it's like that kid didn't have a choice. You know, there's certain choices that we do make, but are blind to the outcome. Like, they appear as normal, but sometimes there's a variable that comes up. Like there was an accident maybe about 4 months ago where someone got hit by a car going the other direction. They were just going to work, you know. So it's like, it's not, and the thing is, it's like you said, there's always choices. There's warning signs, there's gut feelings on that, but there's also the unexplained. There's things that happen that you have no control over, whether that's losing your leg, whether that's getting hit by a stray bullet, whether that's, you know, getting arrested for something that you didn't do. There's always a variable that hits you, and that's why they call it the game of life. So I'm not trying to be like, you know, different from what you're saying. I agree. There's life's choices, but there's also a lot of variables that people get hit with that they don't talk about, and that's why it's sometimes when someone outside of a storm or something like that, they view people's opinions and all that choice crap different, because they've experienced a lot of things that I would say 95% of people don't experience, and that's the unknown variable of life, you know. And I don't know.
And that's true. I actually can agree with that. I can agree with that. I actually can say that's valid. That's a very valid point. Like,
Well,
I'm not.
The reason why I bring that up is because at the end of the day, my choices are not to be a wealthy person. You know, my choices I want to lead is to be a generous person. Is to be, no matter how hard my day was, I won't give that to the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever I went through, I want the next person to not see that. Like, what's that saying? If you smile, someone smiles back at you. That's the way I try to live. That's what I strive for. So if money or wealth comes with that, hey, I'm okay with it. But I just perceive riches and wealth just in a different mindset. So that's why I'm speaking on it like how I am.
See, and I do, like, I'm one of those people. I'm a generous person. I choose when I want to be generous. And see, I always choose. I have an ego. But my ego is never an external ego. My ego exists inside me. And it's the person I have to compete against every day, whether it's at the gym, whether it's working, whatever. But I never say I am better than anyone else out in the world, because I'm not.
As long as y'all are being generous, you know what I'm saying? I'm here and I could use some hospitality and generosity in my life. What's up? I'm Stein.
Everybody, welcome Sean Bender.
What's up, Sean?
What's up?
Controversial rappers in Arizona. We just welcome some controversy.
And I'm good for that. I'm good for the controversy. But like, I did a TikTok a couple days ago. I just want everyone to wake up and realize they're distracting us with everything going on. Because if you notice what happened with the train derailment in Ohio, you don't hear much about COVID. You don't hear much about the war in Ukraine anymore. Yeah, you don't hear much about that. because stuff is going on. Russia went on the offensive. Russia's now on the offensive in Ukraine, in the east. That's going to wrap up by the end of the year. And I'm going to tell you, you can say you heard it here first. It's going to end with a Russian victory. Ukraine is going to lose the Donbas region to Russia, along with Crimea. It'll be officially recognized as part of Russia because the Crimea was never historically Ukrainian. It has always been Russian since it was conquered from the Crimean Tatars by Peter the Great in 1704. It's always been historically Russian. It only became Ukrainian in 1952 when Nikita Khrushchev, who was not Russian by birth but actually Ukrainian, gave the land of Crimea to Ukraine SSR. So Ukraine was never actually fully controlled by Russia. It was an independent Soviet state. So it's always been historically Russian. The eastern part of Ukraine is ethnically Russian and predominantly identifies with the Russian people. So what's going to happen? Probably by the end of the year, Ukraine is going to be forced to be neutral, will not join NATO, will not join the West, will not be really in Russia's sphere of influence, and the war will be over.
What about the problems with China, though?
China is dealing with demographic issues of their own. They're not going to be a threat much longer.
But what about, did you hear about how in June 6th or something like that, how Social Security, the military budget, a lot of things.
Oh, you're talking about the debt ceiling?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I want to burn the entire thing down. Hit the debt ceiling, stop spending us into oblivion because we're about 130% of GDP to debt right now.
Well, let me ask you a question. Kind of like, I don't know, like I'm kind of nudging at your beliefs or whatever. But do you believe that America's America, or do you believe America been sold off a long time ago?
I believe, define what America is. I don't believe in the idea of nations. I don't believe in the idea of borders. They're arbitrarily drawn on a map. At the end of the day, I think it was Auburn University did a study that if you got rid of most border restrictions and allowed people to move, you could almost triple the world's GDP.
Oh yeah,
everyone would be a lot.
Well, that goes to the Bible. You know, there shouldn't be no borders or divisions. But you know, that's the way things are lined up now. Like, you know, like just like when you go to class, you know, sit in a row, raise your hand. You know, it's just something that we're taught. But the reason why I said, you know, do you believe that America been sold off is because at the end of the day, I feel like everything that's out of our control, it's all towards one direction. Whether it's Russia going to Ukraine or Iran or whatever, it's all an agenda to make us towards this, you know, new world order. It's to me because
America sold out when they went ahead and actually went through with stealing the votes on the last election. That was really crazy.
No, America sold out when we became a debtor nation instead of a creditor nation. That's when we were sold out. When we went off the gold standard in 1971, that was when we became a debtor nation instead of a creditor nation. Because up until then, we were a creditor nation to everyone in the world. Now you're looking at what's going on in Saudi Arabia with China. They now say they want to price oil instead of the US dollar in the Chinese yuan, which will remove us as the reserve currency of the world. Because in the 1970s, during the oil crisis, we made a deal with Saudi Arabia, turned the pumps back on, and we'll price everything in US dollars. And they said, okay, cool, and did it. But now you have other countries that can compete with us. China has almost infinite currency, even though that's going to lead to really bad problems down the road for them that they can only keep the lid on for so long. They are a heavily male population because they had that one-child policy from really the 80s onward that they preferred male babies over female babies. So you have a demographic issue that is going to happen because you have a population bomb. Just like in the U.S., we have a population bomb. We are barely have... Did someone say something? Okay, back to what I was talking about. In the Western world, there is actually barely being replacement people born. We're actually not at replacement anymore of natural births in this country. And when you look at it, when you look at what Democrats are proposing on the border, why would they be in favor of a lot more immigration? Just from a logical point of view, why would one party favor immigration more than another?
Because the
What does it
voters are
do?
going to vote. Because there are people that are coming are going to vote their way.
Yep. And here's the funny part that Democrats don't understand is on a lot of social issues, African Americans and Hispanics are actually very conservative. Abortion, stuff like that. They're actually a lot more conservative than they are liberal. And when you look at Hillary Clinton, she's a great example. Who here knows what eugenics is? Eugenics is basically weeding out the unfit in a population.
Hmm.
Gloria Singer, the founder of Planned Parenthood, whose grandson is the president of the New York Planned Parenthood area, basically said the Negro is a weed that needs to be controlled. She was a racist. That was one of Hillary Clinton's idols. Joe Biden, when he was a senator, basically came out in favor of the Omnibus Crime Bill, which basically codified 3 strikes. He was a proponent of that. He was against busing. He spoke at Senator Byrd's funeral of West Virginia, and Senator Byrd was a Grand Wizard of the KKK, an active Grand Wizard in the KKK. And this is the problem. Then you look at Kamala Harris. She's another great example of what is wrong with the Democrat Party. When she was the AG of California, she kept African Americans in prison longer because, as she said, it's a cheap workforce, even though there's exculpatory evidence for them to be released. This ties into victimless crime laws. You shouldn't be arrested. You shouldn't be charged for anything. I don't care if you sell me cocaine, guess what? You didn't put a gun to my head, say buy it. I made the choice to buy it. I made a free will choice. You just supplied it. Now, if you force someone like putting a gun to their head saying you're going to snort this, smoke this, or drink this, then that's an issue because then you're taking away their agency over their own life because you're forcing them to make a very bad choice. It's either do this or I'm going to shoot you in the head.
Hey, I'm just going to put it in, bro. Jeff, you a dangerous dude, bro. You a dangerous dude, bro.
Why?
Just the knowledge you have and every the information and tell that you portray, bro. Like I said, Jeff the president, because everything about the KKK dude that was with Biden. That's
Senator Byrd of West Virginia.
I looked into that, and not a lot of people know that, and that's why I didn't vote for dude. My mother wanted to vote for dude, but I'm like, no, and everything that I said that was going to happen since he's been elected has happened.
No, it seems like he's incredibly racist and anti-weed, which is two strikes.
Because he was with Obama at one point that he was. No, it's not the case.
Yeah.
No, you know what he actually said about Obama?
What did he say?
I'm going to paraphrase it a little bit as I don't remember the exact quote. Basically, he is well-spoken and articulate for a black man. And then he became his vice president.
So it was like a backwards comment that he's saying. Like, not all.
Yeah, it was a backhanded compliment, but it was insanely racist. It's saying, oh, so you're saying most African Americans are not well-spoken and articulate.
Nigga look good in the suit.
Nigga toast.
That monkey look good in the suit.
Hey, we got an Uncle Ruckus over here.
You said what?
We got an Uncle Ruckus over here.
Uncle Ruckus. No, he pretty much saying that's in layman's terms. That's what Biden was trying to say. Like,
yeah, I know, but that would be something Uncle Ruckus would say from the Boondocks.
Exactly.
That nigga's guilty. I got the rope right here. Hang that.
That's pretty much you gotta, and that's what was I saying, bro? I think it was on the last podcast. I was telling you in the boxing, he didn't think that
you're breaking up.
Your headphones on.
Put the headphones on.
Yeah.
Like I hear you now just fine. Like when you're closer, I can.
Kaji,
Yeah, if you don't have headphones on, it's gonna give feedback.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna finish what I'm
Okay.
But yeah, we need to have uncomfortable conversations in this world, and no one wants to have them anymore. No side wants to sit down and go, let's talk and
Hey,
figure out where we have
the
common ground.
last election had a record Republican turnout for black voters. That's all I have to say on that.
No, and you want to know something? Representative Scott from South Carolina. What's really funny is, and this didn't get talked about, why would white people vote for a black conservative instead of a white liberal? Let's
Right.
marinate on that for a minute. Why? That doesn't
Right.
fit the narrative, does it?
No.
And there it is again, the media telling only part of what they want us to know. This is because I was talking to Prince earlier, and I don't know if you were in on this, shut up, but when the Michigan State shooter, they tap danced around his race really quick, but if it would have been a white person, they wouldn't have tap danced around. They'd have been like, a white person did this. And that's the problem, is be truthful with it. Everyone can catch it equally if you want to be, but you have to be truthful. Don't lie to us. Like you look at Operation Mockingbird, was a CIA operation done in the 60s that everyone thought was a conspiracy theory, but actually turned out to be true. They actually put operatives in the newsroom to make sure certain stories got promoted more than others. When you look at a program like MK Ultra, everyone thought it was a conspiracy theory until the 90s when the CIA declassified and said, yep, we were trying to use hallucinogenics to weaken the North Vietnam. Yeah. And actually have control of people.
Even the word conspiracy theory, though, is just another reason to call a person who's looking for the truth crazy.
Yep. It's just like the term assault weapon doesn't actually exist. It was actually created by a politician with the Brady Foundation in the early 90s. Because fully automatic weapons for civilian use has been banned since 1986. You can turn any weapon into a fully auto weapon if you know how to do it. But it's not, because it doesn't matter if it has a front pistol grip, sights, a collapsible buttstock. A civilian AR-15 style weapon is a single shot weapon. You squeeze the trigger once, one round goes down range. In the military, we had the M16, M4. It had a single shot, but it also had a 3-round burst. That does not exist on any civilian models. So this is a disingenuous argument a lot of people make because it's about control. And when you look at, and here's the funny thing, when you look up
everything about control.
I'll give you a great example. A lot of people don't realize this, that George Washington actually wanted to free the slaves when the country was founded, but he just realized it was impractical to do. And in his will, he actually said his slaves were to become employees upon his death. They were to be educated. A lot of people don't realize that about him. A lot of people don't want to talk about that because the narrative gets destroyed at that point. And it's just such a neat thing when you actually start doing research, you start realizing we're not taught a lot of stuff that is actually factual, and we're like, oh, this is getting deep.
Well, yeah, because they don't want people. It's all about control. Because the more we learn, the more we'll get together and revolutionize. They don't want that.
Yeah,
like they
nope.
like that race of Hillary Clinton. I forgot who you said, but like that one KK person said, the black man's a weed, something we gotta control. We not a weed.
That was actually the founder of Planned Parenthood.
Well, okay, but basically what I'm saying though is like we're not a weed, but we just the most dominant species. Anything we touch, we convert with just being our biological being. So that's why if we actually thought together and we had intelligence, we would take over quicker than any race. And plus, we already naturally, athletic, but that's why they stripped away our intelligence.
I don't know if I can see that from a certain point of view, but at a certain time it becomes you have agency over your own life to be intelligent, to do your own learning.
No, but okay, as one person, correct. But as a group, negative.
Okay, so one person can't influence a group. You can't one person can't set the example.
We can,
of
but
what
it's okay. Look at Malcolm X. Look at Martin Luther King. Like we can. It's definitely it's something you could do.
No,
but
one person can't make a group do something because obviously Kanye West tries and it doesn't succeed.
No, you can't, because if you ever heard the theory of the 100th monkey, like once one person does one thing, another person catches on, you could definitely influence. But it's that's why we're in a, you know, I don't know what kind of state you want to call it, but it's to a place where they get rid of us. They assassinate us. They tarnish your character. Why do you think they called Dave Chappelle crazy? Because the skits he was doing, like
the Slave Master skit.
That one, and he also had I know he had a game show. It was like a skit about I Know Black People, and it was about how different people perceived how, you know, what's going on, and it's very eye opening. But the stuff he was doing was actually very intelligent. But the fact the stuff, you know, he was doing, he was gonna make money off it. Well, they call him a crackhead. They call him crazy. So once you kill the character, you can kill his name. So it's not. I'm not saying you can't be one person to change. You definitely can. It's just something that everyone wants to go majority of the truth if majority is doing it. But when there's that one person that's going off the script, you know, I don't know if you want to call Kanye one of them, but that person becomes a target. So our problem is we don't protect that person that's trying to change or revolutionize the way for us. So that's why I say it's like you can do it as one person, but you can't. There has to be a group of Martin Luther Kings, a group of
Yeah, exactly. Kanye tried to turn everybody's narrative too soon. He tried to say understand too much, and people weren't able to do it because he was telling them to understand factors that were too big, and they didn't end up doing what he said. He lost support, all that stuff. But now he's coming back, and I think he's taking a different approach of being nice, playing nice, whatever, and it's working for him.
Because that's a human psychology thing that you actually learn. Like, I'm a political scientist, but I understand human psychology. You cannot force people to do anything, but if I can plant a seed and keep watering it a little bit, it'll grow, and you will become that idea. But if you just plant a seed once and walk away, you have to make sure the soil is fertile for the seed to grow. Because in toxic soil, a seed will not grow.
Right.
And it's that whole thing, because I can't force someone to think the way I think, nor would I ever want to, but I can plant the idea and the thought, and then you just start thinking on it on your own. And you're like, wait, that kind of makes logical sense. Because I'm a very logical person. I work because I'm spiritual, but I work in the realm of logic as well. And I have to, because I have to exist.
When you say spiritual, what's your religion?
I am spiritual. I don't have a religion. I think all religion is a complete and utter joke.
Let me ask you something. Like, who's your God?
God exists inside me. God exists in all of us. That's why we were made in the universe's image.
Do you believe?
That's why
Do you believe in the Bible?
No.
So you don't believe Jesus is king?
Nope. I don't believe in the Quran. I'm Jewish. I don't believe in the Talmud. I actually want to find a Bible, a Quran, and the Old Testament, and then I want to go to a gun range and shoot each one of them with a 12-gauge shotgun with some buckshot in it. Because I don't.
You don't believe
But
Jesus? You don't believe Jesus died on the cross for our sins?
No.
Man.
No.
Everybody has a
I like this guy.
opinion.
I like him a lot.
Religion is about control. Because think about it on a very fundamental level. In Islam, you have a heaven and hell. In Christianity, you have a heaven and hell. In Judaism, you have a heaven and hell. What is the difference between all of them? In Islam, hell is not eternal. Hell, you're in hell until you're purified, and then you ascend to paradise. Christianity is the only one that keeps you in hell forever. Judaism is kind of farthest from hell, or farthest from God is hell in Judaism. Closest to God is heaven. So that's the thing. It's like, and plus, I just don't like religion in general because it forces people to conform to something that may not be in their best interest. I'm about everyone doing what's their best interest. If you believe in God, great. That's your choice.
Hey,
Just
man.
don't force me to believe it or follow those tenets because I find them to be asinine for me.
Let me put it like this: it's like I don't have a religion either. I'm just a disciple and a believer of Jesus Christ in the Bible. So my thing is like when I don't know where like like when Christianity became a religion, because at the end of the day, Christianity was just a name that they called Christian. It was just a name that they called people back in the day who believed in Jesus. So back in the day, it was like Christianity was like the old like saying someone's a Negro. It's just the same word of disrespect. So the fact that they turned that word to a religion is beyond me. But I feel like it's just an easier way to manipulate people. Like
religion and the Holy Bible you're talking about actually was created in 327 AD by Constantine the Great after the Battle of the Milvian Bridge at the Council of Nicaea. That's the actual when the canonized Bible.
Can I chime in? Can I chime in real quick?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
That's in the Wikipedia times that it was like that. I'm doing the show. That's the Wikipedia times. That's what it says in Google and all that. But there's actually ancient artifacts of scriptures in the Bible way back in Egypt a million years ago.
And you look at it, the Bible was created for political reasons by Constantine the Great, because why is the book of Timothy not in the Bible? Why is the book of Mary Magdalene not in the Bible?
Exactly.
Because it was about control. Because the funny thing is, at the Battle of the Milvian Bridge, Constantine the Great had a vision of a comet in the sky that said, and heard God say, "By this sign you shall conquer." He had his soldiers draw crosses on their shields. However, the vast majority of his army was actually pagan, and his opponent, the vast majority of his army, was Christian.
Well, the thing is, God said in the Bible, "Don't make no image or symbol of me." So even something as simple as a cross is an image and a symbol that he doesn't give authority to that.
Okay, what are the two most powerful words in the Bible?
Two most powerful words?
Yes.
I would say I am in Jesus Christ.
I am is the most powerful words because what is God called? I am that I am. So whenever anyone uses the words I am, and whatever they fall after, if they say, I am a wretch, I am weak, that is what you are because you're taking the power of God. If you say, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am strong, you're taking that power as well. That's why God exists inside each one of us. Our salvation is never external to us. It resides within us. Because when we put a savior or someone's going to save us external to us, we then don't have to take full agency and responsibility of our life and our choices. Because I've had so many people tell me, "Oh, I prayed to get this job. I put in the application." Well, did you call and follow up with them? Well, no, God was going to do it. Well, no, you have to put forth some effort for God to go, "Oh, you don't really want this."
No, that's the whole brainwash of the generation, that manifestation crap. I don't believe in any of that. You have to walk as much as you talk, as much as you pray. Like there's no. Now you could ask God for help, but sometimes the answer is no.
Yes, but sometimes you also have to take some initiative yourself. See, we can disagree on this, and I'm fine with this. I actually still love you, and that's fine. I just have my beliefs. That's all it is.
I'm just trying to help you because at the end of the day, there is an afterlife, and
I have no proof of that. I have no logical proof of that.
Would you believe when I said I was shot? I seen it.
That's called faith.
But when I got shot, I seen it.
How old were you when you got shot?
17.
17. Were you brought up with religion in your house?
Yeah, but I went against it. See, I grew up an ignorant hood nigga. So I would go to church and stuff like that, but I didn't pay no attention to it till later on in my
But
years.
here's the thing: your subconscious paid attention to it. And
Yeah,
think about this: why do people say their life flashes before their eyes when they die? Think about it from
EMT.
a yes, because your brain is shutting down, your body is shutting down, and it can be a very traumatic experience because we live in this reality, and death is a traumatic thing. So you can fight it, or your body can release enough chemicals that you just go peacefully. Your body
Yeah.
may physically respond, but your mind's already checked out because you still have electrochemical impulses in your body that have to be expended. And
Because
if you believe,
you release a bit of DMT when you die, and so it's totally possible that could be what could be experiencing is a hallucination. But I
yeah,
mean, I don't know, because if you have faith, what do you think? Do you think it's more likely that you wake up in the afterlife in another existence somewhere in heaven or whatever, hell, whatever, or that you literally just wake up as nothing when, like, we know for pretty much more surety that animals wake up to nothing, like they just die and wake up, but they're all impulses. All through
hmm
life, when they hear a gunshot, they just run. They're not going to run towards it and try and save the day or nothing. They're just going to run. When they smell food, they're going to go try and eat it. Their impulses, but humans not like that. We're much more than impulses. So I think it would be easier to have faith that there's something after, like we have a soul, an endless soul, you know?
and here's the funny thing. Think about this. You know how everyone sees a light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah.
What if that is your soul being reborn into another human to have another existence on this world? That's an idea.
How does that happen
Because
as the population grows?
because you have a greater number of deaths than births, but not everyone has to come back necessarily. Because I've got a question. When you die, and you're a Christian, do you ascend to heaven?
I'm a disciple,
Yes.
and when you die, that is just depends on your faith in Jesus Christ. Either you believe he saved you from your sins, and the thing is, when you truly believe, you move different, you act different. You're not one of those people who's a hypocrite that says, "Well, I'm gonna do this and make a mistake. Oh, I'm good. Jesus got me." Because if you got to believe it in your heart. It's not something you believe in your head. So when you truly believe
No,
it in your heart, you
no.
follow.
Scripturally, I was asking the question: do you ascend to heaven when you die?
What I'm saying is, I'm trying to give you the answer. You either go to heaven or you go to hell.
No, when you immediately die, you stay in the ground until the last judgment day, and then you ascend and you are judged. You don't go immediately to heaven or go immediately to hell.
Well, no,
You're in
okay.
a
You have to see the face of God, and you are a judge. I will give you that. But I'm just saying, when you're done with the body on earth, you got two directions, and I don't believe it's reincarnation into another human being.
See, I do because I have personal experiences that I've done stuff that's like I should have no natural ability to do, and I can do it. I am not like I'm because I've had premonition dreams. I don't understand it. Like I'll give you a great example. I was 10 years old. I joined the military at 18. I went to a base in Korea I had never been to. I didn't even know what it was. But when I got there, I knew where everything was on that base, and I had never seen it before. I had never been in country. Fast forward 2.5 years later, I was at the NTC in California working on a truck, and I had perfect deja vu because I had dreamt about that when I was 15.
You probably just have an
I
old.
have it. Huh?
You have an old soul.
Exactly. So if I have an old soul, that means it's had to have had many lives.
Well, there's different sources, like in the book of Enoch, or not specifically the Bible, but there's different wisdoms out there that speak on you knowing everything you know. Like when you're up there, you could pick your parents before you were born. You pick your parents, and if you're a soul that hasn't fully learned and fully cooperated, you kind of keep going into a cycle to where you finally get that chance to get that judgment. Sometimes I feel like I'm not 100% believer in this because you're always learning, but I've read that where it's like you could make mistakes always since the times of Egypt. You never descended to heaven or hell. You're just old soul that keeps trying to make it. But at the end of the day, you will burn in the lake of fire, or you will be in the heavens. So to rule out, for me to rule out reincarnation is kind of my apologies, because I believe it can happen. I'm not saying that's all there is to it. I'm not saying that, you know, when you're done, it's just you come back as another human or an animal. I don't think that's as easy the way to put it.
Okay. And hey, Isaiah Felix, my YouTube channel is The Nomadic Libertarian. Because I see that posted up right in the thing, I'm like, okay, let me put that out there. Because that's been up there for a while.
I was waiting for you to do that, yeah.
But we were having such a good conversation and it was just flowing, so I was like, I saw it, but I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'll just interrupt the conversation.
It's still a good conversation, but I agree. My whole thing is, bro, there's so much. Yeah, the Bible was corrupted at some point because there's been so many versions. I get that.
The Bible was corrupted in 327 AD at the Council of Nicaea by Constantine the Great.
Yeah, but there's still truth to some a lot of factors that's in the Bible, though. Besides the corruption.
Yeah. There's a lot of truth in every religion if we're going to be objective.
Facts.
And that's my thing. Is like I love the movie Dogma from the Jay and Silent Bob series. If you've ever seen it, it's a funny movie. It has Selma Hayek, Chris Rock, Jay and Silent Bob, Alan Rickman.
Ooh.
And it talks about, and Selma Hayek says, and I love this line, it doesn't matter what you have faith in, just that you have faith. That's all that matters.
I'll pray for y'all. That's all I can say. I'm not, like you said, I don't want to force nothing down no one's throat or nothing like that. But I'll pray for y'all. That's
I'm just gonna say I love all of y'all, bro, and I'm loving this conversation. I respect everybody's opinion. It's like I said, everybody's entitled to their opinion. So it's like, you know, me and KG got the same beliefs for our own reasons. And there's some truth in both factors of what y'all saying. You, Jeff, and KIG. So.
And I respect everyone as long as you respect me. And I've enjoyed this conversation. I would love to do it again. It's 11 o'clock. I've got to get going to bed because I got to be up in 6 hours.
Oh yeah. No, no, you pretty much took. Yeah, a lot of the people that's on the comments I'm looking at, it's the live a few months ago all over again. Where Jeff took over the whole stand, and I would just sit. I really think I would just sit back listening, bro. I appreciate you coming on. You welcome anytime, and I'm pretty sure you and KIG will have a lot of topics y'all will conquest together. So.
I can barely see his face because he's got that black light on. So I'm like, I can't see nothing. All I'm seeing is the whiteness in the shirt, and that's about it. I was like, is that part of him doing it?
Nah, that's me getting back from the gym and fucking I'm looking scruffy. I put the blue light on. Nah.
Okay. I was like, nice to meet you.
Conversation in our rhetoric as well, and you know, I hope we have money in the future.
Yes,
we're going, God willing.
Yeah,
we're going to, yeah.
Because this is phenomenal. This is the stuff that we need to talk about. People need to have these discussions about religion, about faith, about politics, about race relations. We need to have these conversations because ultimately, at the end of the day, that is how you get closer to unity. It's not about I'm entrenched in my position. No. I have my beliefs because as I think it was Plato or Aristotle said this, the sign of a wise man is he can accept other people's beliefs and opinions without believing them. Basically, that he can go, okay, that's a valid opinion. I personally don't believe it, but I'm not going to say you're wrong for your beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what growth is.
I truly believe Jeff is my white nigga. I'm gonna just keep saying that, bro. Jeff is my white nigga, y'all. And I think with this past hour, people seen that. Like, this is why I have it on my phone, Jeff, aka my white nigga. Just this man is not human, bro. He's a different breed, my nigga. And the shit that he brings to the table is just like he's right. And a lot of what he talks about is what I'm starting to believe in, breaking generational curses. It's like what he just said, not keeping yourself in the trench and thinking that, oh, this is where I belong. No, expand yourself higher. But like I believe in manifestation. A lot of the stuff that I've manifested is becoming real. And that's after the talk that me and him had. Like the Netflix shit happened, bro, after me and Jeff had that live, bro. Because I didn't think it was possible. And he explained, bro, why do I have my mind hindered to where I can just do this, and that? You know what I mean? And I'm seeing that every day.
Yeah, and that's the thing is we have to just really unify and really understand is we can have because I think everyone here, our overarching mission and goal is freedom.
Amen.
The ability to truly live our own lives by our own agency. Because I believe very much in the golden rule. Do unto others you would have them do unto you. I'm not going to go and hurt people to make money. That's not who I am. I'm going to make money because I offer a good or a service to that person and they find value in it. Because like I said, everything is economics, everything is a contract, everything is a trade-off. Because you can never have both options. You have to pick one or the other. And this gets into, like we can talk about next time, about quantum realities and Schrodinger's cat. Those are really neat concepts. Who here's heard of Schrodinger's cat?
The investments. You said what?
Schrodinger's cat. Who's ever heard of this? It was a rebuttal to the Copenhagen theory of the universe.
Bro, it sounds like you speak in another language. What in the world?
I heard it, but I didn't look into it.
Schrodinger's cat is basically a quantum it's a quantum superposition. It's a thought experiment. Schrodinger came up with, it was Alfred Schrodinger came up. He said, "There's a cat in a box with a sealed vial of poison and a timer. The cat can be both considered living and dead because you don't know when the timer is going to go off, and both options are true in the reality. The only thing is once you open the box, one of the realities collapses." That's what Schrodinger's cat is. When we make a decision, there are two quantum realities that form. And once we make a decision, the other reality collapses and we become unaware of it.
Yeah.
That's all Schrodinger's cat is. It's basically sort of a multiverse theory.
I got you. That makes sense.
Man. I mean, we can't be the only ecosystem universe in the world. You know what I mean? Like there has to be a different type of species out there, different type of realm, different type of like there has to be. Yeah.
Like here's the thing: in one universe, in one quantum reality, dinosaurs still exist. They're walking around us right now, but we're not aware of it because that's not the reality we're in.
What are dreams in relation to that?
Dreams are the breaking down of the barriers between realities. Because I've had a dream where I was on this farm and there's a snake shedding its skin, but it didn't have the head of a snake; it had the head of a seal. That was my higher self coming to me, going, it was time for a change. And the next day, I quit my job and started doing Uber because it was time for me to change.
Yeah.
Define what you mean when you say higher self.
The best version of the higher self is really something like almost like a god. Like that's the god that exists inside you. That's the one that kind of has a deeper understanding of stuff that's going on in the reality that you're not aware of because you're in a 3D reality. Your higher self exists in a different level of reality. It exists in a 4D, 5D reality. That stuff is not 3-dimensional. There's more to it. Time doesn't matter because in a dream you can feel like a dream takes years, but you only went through one REM cycle and that's 90 minutes.
So would you say
dreams
like a bridge to the spirit world?
Yes, it can give you insight. That's why meditation is so important. That's why DMT, shrooms, ayahuasca can bring stuff over from the other side that you're not aware of. Like I did a couple of ayahuasca experiences, and one of them, My dad came to me. He had died in 2012. This was 2017, 2018. And he put his hand on my shoulder and literally said, "I'm proud of you." And he had never said that when he was alive. And we had a really rocky relationship.
I remember
And
you
like
telling me
that just took so much weight off of me. Like I just felt different after that point.
This wasn't a trip, not a dream, correct?
This was an experience. I don't view it. I didn't go and do it as, oh, I want to see how many different fucking colors I can see.
No.
Or smell sound. I did it because I wanted answers, and I got my answers that I wanted.
Gotcha.
I went into it with a mission. I didn't go into it thinking, oh, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a trip. Because you go into that, Mother Ayahuasca comes from South America. It's a native medicine. You try to control that shit, she's going to make your trip real rough because you're going to purge everything you've eaten. And you got one of two options. You're either going to smell it or taste it. And you can't be hard-headed when you meet her, because if you're hard-headed, I did it one time and I want to be real hard-headed that, oh, I'm going to control this. I got a real quick lesson. I ain't control a shit in my life at that point.
Well, it's funny because it's just like your thoughts. You can't control your next thought. That's not. It doesn't.
Actually, yes, you can. You can control your next thought.
Your next thought is never from you.
Okay, your next thought's from your higher self. You actually do have control. I can have a thought. I can choose not to say it. I have that choice.
You can have a thought, but it's you never control your first initial thought is not. It doesn't come from you.
And I agree with that.
Different people are built differently. Some people get their thoughts. Some people can think a thought. Some people can't think a thought. Some people absolutely can't.
And I can do that. Sometimes I do it because, and this gets into another thing, is how can you police someone's thought? If they don't say it, how do you know they're thinking it? Are you a mind reader? That gets into another whole thing about, oh, he is, like, someone can be prejudiced but never act upon it. How can you know they're prejudiced then? Or how can you know they're race?
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So my thing is thoughts is like traffic. It's just cars going by and you pick what you want to see. You don't, but I'm saying you don't control that traffic.
No, but you do control which thought you want to pick.
Exactly, I'll give you that. Yeah, I agree. But
it is conscious reality. He's talking about your conscious. Your conscious is, you have two different consciouses, and what voice that you let lead you that day.
What I'm trying to say is
because if you think about it, like my head, everybody's head is different. My head is noisy because there's a lot of stuff going on with autism and blah blah blah. It makes me think many thoughts, and I have to literally hone in. I have to hone in. I thought so. I have to hone in and pick out one of the stream, like but it's like I can see, like when Doctor Strange looked and he said I could see through all the multiverse and only one reality we win. That's what it is. Like you look through and you can pick one of them, but most people don't realize that they're seeing all those streams at once and just picking one of the every infinite thought that you can think. But all those thoughts are there at once. That's why your brain's so complex.
Yep. And that's why when you look at it and they actually do, like, people that meditate and people that pray, certain parts of their brain light up.
Yeah.
Compared to other ones. It's
right.
It's really neat when you look at it because there's so much that we do not yet understand about the brain on a structural level as well as psychological level.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why I brought it up is because when you're talking about digesting that for the hallucinogen or
medicine,
drug medicine, whatever you want to call it. The reason why you can't control it is the same reason you can't really control your thought. It's something you go with the flow. You take the journey. The journey don't, you don't control the journey. You just flow with it. Whatever you got to be accepted.
But you can fight the journey. You're just not going to like it, but you can fight it.
Exactly my point.
But that's still a choice. I made the choice one time to go in there consciously that I'm going to be in control of this.
When did we come to the
control?
When did we come to the conclusion that you can't control a thought? Because if you sit there and focus on the thought for hard enough and strong enough, that's going to be what thought you think, you know?
Saying, like, I can sit here and think about apples, right? Okay, apples are round, red. But I'm saying your first like right when you wake up in the morning, right, and you thinking about something, that's not your choice. Like you didn't like why like look like to just look out the window. That wasn't you didn't think to just look out the window. There's certain times in that go through your head. You're not in control of what's going through it. You're just control of the narrative and the seeing, like you said, choosing. Okay, I want to think about this, and you can think about it. You can harness in on it. But
honestly, I think that's a big part of IQ, and once you get to a higher IQ, I think that's not true anymore.
Because like I had my IQ tested multiple times. I'm sitting at 130.
Yeah, 142, 147. I'm sorry.
I'm sitting at 143.
See.
So, Prince, what do you say when you wake up in the morning? Do you see like 17,000 thoughts at once, and you kind of focus on the ones you want to think about, or do you have this stuff just come at you? It's just thrown at you, and you have to catch them as they come.
Similar to your situation, because in that particular conversation, because I know you said with autism, I'm ADHD. So the mindset that we would have, like Sean is saying, the thoughts is running through your head as soon as you wake up to when you fall asleep. When you calculate and choose which thoughts that you're gonna take that day. Sometimes I wake up and be an asshole.
Yeah.
When I'm like,
and choose that.
I choose that. But when I tap into my higher self, like they're saying, my angelic self, then I'm like, okay, slow down. You start listening to the like Jeff is saying, that higher self. But
it's because if you think about it, if the day before you wanted to build a company, say, and so you started thinking about that company, the next day when you wake up, you are going to have that on your mind, and you're going to choose to think about the company and how that you could start your day to better the company. So you do choose what your thoughts are going to be. Those aren't just rapidly fire machine gunned at you, and you just catch as many as you can. It's not like that. At least for the IQ, if your IQ improves or whatever is higher, then it's going to be like that.
Here's the thing I would recommend for everyone is, if you can at night, put on a meditation that is like 324 hertz, 528, something like positive affirmations, and put that on as you're sleeping, because here's the thing. Your subconscious, from the moment you're born until the last time that computer shuts off, remembers everything.
Yeah.
So what you feed your mind really is important, will determine a lot in your life. Because when you look at people who are successful in business, or who are successful, period, what's one of their things that they have, that they do? They always talk about it. They always meditate. They always read.
Well, and it's because all of that. Yeah.
Real quick before you go in, Sean, I hate to say this because the talk we had earlier, but what he just said, that's in the Bible. That's in Exodus, and pretty much what he's saying is, what it says in Exodus, you can't go off your flesh. You have to go with your angelic mind, which is pretty much closer to God. And everything that he's been talking about for the past 5-10 minutes, you going with your angelic self. You're not caving into your flesh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pretty much the evil thought. I just want to point that out. That's an Exodus.
Yeah, all this that we're saying is due to what I when I heard earlier in the conversation. I was like, I want to get to this mindfulness. Mindfulness is the most key thing that exists. If you can master mindfulness, like you can do anything. Like you can set goals and accomplish them mindfully. You know, mindfulness does. Does everybody kind of understand what that means? Mindfulness.
Yeah. Here's another person I want you guys to look up, Dr. Joe Dispenza. He talks about neuroplasticity. He is a really good dude, like, to just listen to. You just listen to him, like, he does meditate. There are meditations out there for it, but it's just so neat when you sit and you can just learn to calm your mind.
Yeah.
And like Sean, like, I suffer from a little like ADHD, OCD, and I'm a little bit autistic because sometimes I can't pick up on social cues. And sometimes I just don't. And sometimes I just don't care, honestly.
Social cues seem fake to me. They seem like an unfair advantage almost, and I'd rather just deal with it like the way I understand it. Like, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. I'm one of those people. I understand social niceties because that's how we exist.
Yeah,
But also at the same time, it's like, really, we're gonna take this long route to get to here. Like, nah, I'm good.
yeah.
Like, but that's the really neat thing is like, you have to set up time and you have to condition your mind because one thing Joe Dispenza talks about is everyone has a morning routine. You wake up, you go to the bathroom, you get a cup of coffee, you check your phone, you scroll through your phone. Who here scrolls through their phone when they first wake up in the morning?
Yeah, for sure.
I do.
That is a problem. You should not be on your phone looking through TikTok, Instagram, any of that garbage because you're going to feed your mind negativity when you wake up. And that is when the barrier between this world and the higher self is the weakest and is the most permeable. Because
Pretty
think
much
about
Mine
this.
is
go
worse.
worldly. You can't
Mine is a lot
also
worse.
world.
First
Can't
thing
do
I
anything
do is
that's
I turn
worldly.
on my game.
But here's the thing. For me, I wake up in the morning. I want to take a piss, but you know what I do? I force myself to be still for 10 minutes. I tell my body, we are going to do this, but we're going to stay still for this time.
But the negativity that you're feeding yourself is reality, so that's not always negative to take a dose of reality in the morning.
But it is when you do it first thing in the morning without quieting your mind and focusing on what you want for the day. That's where it becomes the problem.
If you're understanding your REM and all your dream world and all that stuff well enough, you should be doing that while you're asleep, waking up with that already as a way that you're mindful as soon as you get out the bed.
But that goes back to what he said too, though, earlier when he said if you meditate before you go to sleep, you already putting yourself in a subconscious objective where you come up.
Oh, did somebody mention putting on music to go to sleep?
I did.
Yeah,
okay, that's what I do every night.
He's putting himself in.
But here's the thing: it has to be a certain type of music,
right?
Like because when you look at it,
Depends on what you want to address, bro.
Huh?
Depends on what you want to address. If you're dealing with a drug dealer coming to your house, blah blah, you might listen to some hip hop and get into that headspace, go to sleep and face it in your dream. Like, what am I going to do in this situation? And you might, you might be able to do that.
I would caution against that because when you look at modern hip hop music, what type of message does it have? You have a Ray Sherman song. Could have went to school to be a doctor, but dropped down and became a baller. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because your subconscious will hear that. Your subconscious does not know the difference between fantasy and reality.
Yeah.
Your subconscious has no concept of that. That's why I'm very careful about what I put in my mind. Because before I used to watch a lot of porn, and that fucked me up so much on a sexual level as a man. Because then sex became not participatory; it became an observer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the real truth. That's why I'm one of those people. I don't watch porn anymore. I've been porn free for almost 5 months now.
Yeah, but you don't go to boot camp for the army and play tennis. Like you do war stuff. Like, so if my life is like a hip hop song, why would I listen to like classical? Or that's if I'm going to prepare myself for my real life.
But
that doesn't necessarily have to be like that, bro. Because back in the day when I grew up with the OGs, just because they were killers and drug dealers, they didn't listen to most of that music. They were listening to the Temptations, Zapp and Roger.
Because here's the thing: you're marketed that. It's marketing. You're marketed and told that that's what it is. When 90% of these rappers nowadays ain't ever done half the shit they rap about, but they understand it. That they understand we can keep these people divided, light skin versus dark skin, also the dumb shit that is a holdover from Jim Crow with the paper bag test. Like shit, like stop.
Yeah, but you're speaking more on frequencies than you are the actual lyrics. Like as long as the song is emitting a certain frequency level,
yes.
That's like when they say man, like that, just that frequency, that's a harmony, that's a positive frequency. Like a lot of
that's what I'm talking about. What the 528, the 888 hertz, those are the stuff I listen to at night.
Exactly.
I don't listen to
what does a vaccine do?
Does absolutely nothing.
Builds
Okay. In principle, if it was to work, which like it could be a theory of yours that it doesn't work, but if it does work, what do they say it does?
They said
is something. It's a fake. It's like it helps build your antibodies to recognize a certain bacteria or virus, so that way when the actual real thing comes, it knows how to defend itself.
That's
he's
what I'm
talking
saying.
about COVID.
Well, yeah,
and
but
here's the thing.
or flu or whatever, but
here's the thing with that: the flu shot, that is a complete fucking crapshoot. Because there are 20 different strains of the flu. They just take a guess which one it's going to be based on some evidence. But the problem with the COVID vaccine in particular was they originally built it as it will stop you from getting sick. Then they built it as it'll stop you from going to the hospital with the level of sickness. But you could still spread it to other people, even though they said you couldn't. So
Pretty
it's
much
always
being a
been,
carrier.
yeah, and plus when you look at, like, they even had a Senate committee hearing about it, and Rand Paul said, I want to know of the medical advisors to the CDC who is getting royalties from the pharmaceutical companies.
I look at
okay,
it like
but say they work. Oh, good. Okay. Say they worked. Vaccines worked. It would mean that you take a small portion of it, you apply it to yourself, and it's going to make it so your antibodies are build up a resistance to it, and it's able to fight it off when it comes. I feel like hip hop music is the same. It lowers your frequencies. It puts you in that bad headspace. It does all that stuff. But your body, if you're practicing mindfulness all the time, learns how to be mindful and fight through it and correct yourself. That way you strengthen yourself. It's like strengthening every night your mind. Basically, it's fortifying your mind because you're practicing something. You're putting up resistance.
I'm gonna say this, bro. Before anybody get in, I'm gonna say this, bro. You're both right. It's a difference if I listen to Jesus Walks by Kanye West to I listen to Nardo Wick Who Won't Smoke. My mindset gonna go different. Then I'm feeling righteous and holy by listening to Jesus Walks. But if I put on Who Won't Smoke with Me, I feel like turning up. I feel like shit. Who won't smoke with me? Types. You know what I mean? It's what you putting your subconscious objective into. Yes, I know not to let it go too far, but because I have a certain growth and maturity.
No, you're a little bit wrong because it's true that your mind will automatically go to wanting to think that, but if you're training your brain to not think those thoughts, it'll come up. The thought will come up, but it's just like that stream of perpetual thousands of thoughts that you could pick one of. You can choose how to react when that stimulation comes to your mind.
But
does that make sense?
I'm talking about when you're asleep. Your conscious mind is not running. Your subconscious is.
My conscious mind is running. That's lucid dreaming.
Lucid dreaming, that does work to an extent, but you can't stay in lucid dream for 8 hours.
You absolutely can.
Well,
okay.
Maybe like 5.5 or something, and then I remember it throughout the 8 hours to spread up and dice up over 8 hours. But I'm remembering about 8 hours of REM sleep with lucid dreaming going on.
Okay.
Nightly.
Okay, I can have a lucid dream. Stare at the clock. It'll blow your mind. Because time don't exist in a dream. So
time doesn't. But that's the thing is, like, even when you lucid dream, your subconscious runs. You have, how much of your life do you think you actually have control over? Like, honestly.
None of it.
No, you actually do. You have about 5%. 95% of it is run by a program, and by the time you're 35, your habits and patterns are pretty much set in you from childhood, because from 0 to 7, you are a sponge. Why do you think they're pushing the transgender agenda on preschoolers? Because they're a sponge. They absorb it. They'll know no different for the remainder of their life. That's the problem, is because you're a sponge at a young age. And it takes so much work. I've had to do the work to unlearn what you learned as a kid, especially if it doesn't help you. It only hinders you. You have to unlearn it. And it takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of focus and a lot of determination and an ego within yourself to go, I am better than this.
But let me ask you something. Don't you think that can be beneficial in certain ways?
In what do you mean? In what part?
Like say I don't know, say like I'm an alcoholic at the age of 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
all the kids around me are alcoholics, whatever. They don't have this as a disease. They don't have to go through. They don't have to fight through. But say you go into college and you wean yourself off of it and you create that discipline. Don't you think that gives you, a certain advantage in your more adult life?
That is what I just said. I said if you condition yourself to do it, you can overcome that addiction.
Right?
I said that.
Isn't going through a struggle beneficial?
Yes, as a man, going through a struggle is beneficial. I never said that it was easy. I said it takes dedication.
I was just asking that question. Is it beneficial? And I was elaborating. That's all.
Okay. Now that you phrase it that way, yes, it is beneficial to go through that struggle. If you had started with that, I would have understood it.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Okay.
So then that leads into what I was saying about the hip hop, that it's going to affect your sleep and make you're going through it. You're dealing with it.
How I look at it, listen, whatever makes you a positive person at the end of the day, listen to it. If somehow you turn heavy rock metal into positivity of you being a better you than you were the day before, I'm all for it. Everyone's built different. But what he's saying is more on a scientific level. Like there's certain frequencies that actually, like I've read, if you listen to classical music, you can go to the bathroom easier. Just like certain shit like that. Like, it's just,
and when you expose young children to classical music, it's actually been shown that it stimulates certain parts of their brain. And when you actually teach a kid to play piano, they actually have better critical thinking skills. There's a lot of stuff that is involved in that when you learn an instrument at a young age. Because
I definitely don't disagree. I definitely don't disagree that classical music is kind of like building those antibodies without stressing them or exercising them or anything like that. It's just building them. But then mixing it up with other genres is going to give you use for it without having to do it in real life, basically. Like playing GTA, you might be equipped better if you get into some crazy situation like that,
Okay, so I think I'm starting to track now. Okay, I think I'm starting to follow you, Sean. Okay, I'm starting to follow you. Yeah. Oh man, tomorrow's gonna be a rough day for me. This is already 11:30. I'm usually in bed I've been in bed for about 2 hours by now.
Hey, don't worry, it's 12:30 here, and I gotta be up by 7.
Hey, bro, we doing this again with you, Jeff. This is, like I said, my next segment gonna be called my white nigga part 2. Jeff came up in here and shut shit down like I knew he would. he opened a lot.
Thank you guys for having me. This is a phenomenal. I like when people come up. This is like Clubhouse, but with video.
This is Clubhouse, but with meaning. Not no ignorant ass whack 100 that don't know, just trying to start some bullshit with his 50-year-old ass.
But hey, if you guys want, check me out on YouTube. It's the Nomadic Libertarian. I'm trying to build that channel. You follow me on TikTok. It's the Nomadic Libertarian over there as well. For some reason, they won't let me change my handle.
When you leave off, go to my page, and we still gonna be on. Tag your link into the.
We're gonna be talking shit about you. No, I'm joking.
Send me the link to your page because I'm barely on Facebook. I don't even really use it at all.
I'm sending it right now, bro.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, give a warm applause for Just Metric. He did what he do. I mean,
you send that to my phone, right?
To your phone.
Okay.
Hey, you're not supposed to be here no more. No, I'm just playing.
I'm gonna send it to you in the next 30 seconds.
All right. Y'all have a good night. It was a pleasure.
Oh yeah.
Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night, man. Be blessed.
Thank you.
Man, I got some shit to say about Jeff. No, I'm just joking.
Oh my God, that Jeff. No, I'm just playing.
That damn Jeff. He did it again. I don't like the word Jeff. Is your real name Jeffrey?
I'll tell you what. Him tapping into my intellectual. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, no, he did his thing, bro. I got so much love for dude. Like, I can never be mad at him.
He's hyper intelligent.
Yeah, he's highly intelligent. I think he's one of them dudes. Just person. He going to heaven regardless.
You're cutting out.
I'm honest.
Oh, there you go. That's why.
I said, I think he's just such an intelligent and highly angelic soul. No matter what, he going to heaven regardless. Like he's clearly one of God's angels, bro. Like that dude is a real blessing. I'm happy he was on you.
Shit, tell you the truth, bro. I fuck with it. Like his shit was. It wasn't just no random. Oh, I know this because I seen it on TV. Like the nigga had facts to go behind those facts. On top of those facts.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I respect that. I respect that to the fullest because sometimes when I be speaking and shit.
I warned y'all about Jeff, bro, when he was coming. Jeff coming, he coming. I warned y'all about Jeff, bro.
I like his perspective because it's not from like a race point of view. It's not from a class.
He don't got a bad agenda. He don't got an agenda.
From an intelligence point of view.
Right.
Yeah, logic.
I'm gonna send this link to bro.
Let's see, when he started talking about the certain frequencies and shit, I fuck with that. But as far as like for autism and ADHD, one thing I was taught was to strategize. Play chess, nigga. Chess was created back in the day for war tactics, but you can also use it as a thought process.
Shit, I do.
Like I used to love chess as a kid. I hated it at first because I had to think too hard.
You know what's crazy is I played. I used to be an alcoholic, so we used to play for drinks.
We used to play for push-ups and glass of water and shit.
Oh shit! That's the chess I need to be playing. That's the
had niggas throwing up and shit. I need to get back on it because my thought process is fucked.
I love chess.
Water and push-ups. That's what's up.
Chess is sick. Chess lets you know about people. Like when you be playing somebody, you could see how they think in real life.
Yeah. You can definitely see how focused they are.
Yeah.
That or if they're defensive or aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Or manipulative.
Or if they're willing to sacrifice or hold on to.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I like that. It's like a universal game. No matter what language or what creed you come from, you can read a person through chess. I like that. I never thought of it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. More than most games, yeah.
That's why they use it in war.
Mm-hmm. What's the best strategy game y'all played? Anybody play Stratego?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, Stratego's pretty bomb. They got the little backwards pieces that show like a number on it, and you can move a certain ways, and it's it's pretty cool. It's kind of like chess, but like a little bit more advanced.
Oh shit!
I'm not. What's that saying? You can't when you say something, your body receives it, so you gotta be careful how you talk about yourself. But what I'm saying is, I'm a little slow, so chess is probably as advanced as it get for me, like playing on the board. I'm not saying I wouldn't be able to learn and compete, but it's just I think on my own, I think chess is as far as I got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up on dominoes and bid whiz and all that shit. So
you don't want these bone problems, Doc.
Man, I ain't played Bones in a while, but I still take the challenge. Never back down and ran from no nigga.
Who want to lose our spades though?
Oh nigga, I fuck with you on some spades, boy.
let me tell you something, man. I spent 6 years in prison, and that's all we played was dominoes, spades, Uno, Monopoly.
I'll tell you what.
And you still get an L from me.
I'm not.
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. But you'll catch some L's this way too, nigga. What that nigga Yu-Gi-Oh say? The harder the cards. It ain't always gonna come your way.
That is true. That is true.
You must become one with the cards.
Be one of them fucking the motherfuckers who know how to deal and shit.
Yeah. You better know it.
Deal from the back. Leave the table.
I tried playing cards with a card counter, bro. I about quit. I just about quit playing spades ever again. Like, he frustrated me so bad. I was throwing stuff up. He like, oh, don't you already have whatever? I'm like, man.
Oh, because he knew what cards were still out there and what wasn't?
Yeah. He knew
that
everything.
Was my
like he knew,
man.
he knew too much. He knew my social security number off of how my cards looked. I was like, what?
Bro, that's how my granddad taught us. He said, if you can know every card and every domino that's on there, you know what can be played and what the possibilities are. And then he goes right back into saying, play chess.
We was playing, and then we were sitting in the cafeteria. He got up, walked over to the vending machine, put my code in there, and said, yeah, I asked, how you know that? He said, you know what I'm saying? You played a King of Hearts and a whatever. I said, what? No, I'm just playing.
I was confused for a second. I'm like, wait, what?
The Vegas with you.
Take that man everywhere. Help me.
Yeah, card counters is crazy.
Yeah, that was my granddad to a T. When it came to gambling, pool, chess, bid whiz, dominoes, any game that was made in the hood or grew up in the hood, he played it and he mastered it.
Shoots and ladders, sorry, Uno.
Oh, he won the board game, nigga, but he was the grown folk games.
Black man's iPad. Like, if you think about it, like the neighborhood games and all that, that's before FanDuel, that's before fucking what's that shit they had? That Fly Birds or some shit.
Sport.
Rush. You didn't have a device in your hand that could help you kill your creativity or kill time, or you had to come up with games. Like, you think motherfuckers really want to play marbles? Nah, it's just something that it helps.
Pass the time.
Right, exactly.
Niggas went from marbles to craps.
For real.
I ain't making enough money on this shit. Let's go.
Man, you ain't lying. That's hilarious. Motherfucker went from marbles to crap, boy. They went from losing fucking
marbles in the sewer to losing dice and money.
$300,000. I bet my house. Here's my watch. I know I drove up here in the Range Rover. You can have it.
Man. Yeah, dice game change your life.
Man, it can definitely change your life, for the good or the bad. You get stabbed up, shot up.
And the thing is,
Offset.
You can win and lose at the same night. You be like, nigga,
consistently too.
Like, clap? Nah, you not, nigga.
Hey, blackjack is like that, bro. Blackjack be getting me, bro. When I go to the blackjack table, I'll go up there with $90. I'll win. I'll be up like 180. Somehow I'll lose all my money. Plus, I'll be pulling out extra money.
Bro, what you got to do on blackjack? The first thing you got to do is get to know that dealer. If you can keep that dealer for about 30 minutes, my nigga, you good. But as soon as they change dealers, that's when the shit goes down. You take the fuck off.
Yeah.
The main mindset to have on that is to focus on the dealer. Everybody else with you on that table is on your team.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is, though, when you win in blackjack, the dealer don't get mad at you and follow your ass to the parking lot.
Fuck you motherfuckers is crazy. I'm going to get to my trunk and get my gun.
Nah, the dealers love it when you win because a real winner tips them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they need that.
Yeah, exactly.
Bro,
That's
you
how,
ever seen somebody? You ever seen somebody be good at the casino? And it's just trippy as hell.
Yeah,
They just sit on the table and just pull the shit. They like $300.
and they escorted
Like,
that nigga out.
that's like your sixth one this night.
man.
They escorted that nigga out when I seen it.
Mm-hmm.
They just came straight to the table with 2 security guards and was like, "We need to talk to you."
Yeah,
He's like, "Oh, what the hell is going on?" He was like, "We need to talk to you, sir." Well, I'm not going anywhere. I'm on a roll.
Rolled him up on out of there.
well, I'll
They
tell you
weren't
what,
playing no games.
it's been good talking to y'all, man. I'm gonna go ahead and tap out at like 12:30. Huh? I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I catch my sleep so I can get some REM sleep in my life. But it's been good chatting it up, good speech, good everything, man. I feel like just this conversation alone is a good positive to put me to sleep in the right way.
Hey, you know who I listen to when I go to bed?
Who?
It's this
Who's that?
nigga named Eric Thomas.
Eric Thomas.
He's a bad motherfucker, bro. He do a lot of yelling, but the shit makes sense.
Now, is he a speaker? Musician?
Yeah, he's a motivational speaker. He grew up in Chicago, poor. He grew up in Detroit. He's a Midwest nigga,
Okay.
and the nigga's strong with his words.
Okay.
Like he's not nigga this, nigga that, but he gonna holler at you. He gonna let you know something about yourself, and you gonna be like, damn, that's me right there. Ooh shit. Let me tighten up.
I hear it. You're pulling out a nigga's flaws. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So I'll tell you what, though, when I go see, I'll bump that Donnie Hathaway. You know what I'm saying?
I hear.
Yeah, that old school music.
Yes, sir. That's all I really bang is older music.
Yeah,
you won't really hear me banging no Young Thug, no fucking no Lil Nas or none of that shit. It's mainly all the old music from 2010 on down.
I know.
There ain't no limit to it.
That's how I know I'm getting old. Have you heard the latest artist? No.
Shit. Just tonight, Malik was trying to introduce me to something. I was like, "Who the fuck is that?"
I booted off my own goddamn lie. That shit's crazy.
Well, you know.
But y'all take care, man. Get some good sleep. Hope y'all have a good day tomorrow. Good weekend.
Amen. Amen.
Love y'all. I'm logging out. Fuck you.
Right.
Have a nice day.
Same Thomas said, man. Blessings, blessings. One love.
Already.
That nigga KIG leave too?
Yeah. He'll probably come right back once he sees that we're still on, unless you're getting off. Okay.
But no, I think he logged out by accident.
You got it steady now? It won't drop you no more?
Yeah. Let me I'm gonna tell him to come back in.
Okay. What's up, y'all? For me, I'm gonna spit some bars to y'all. Patui. Yeah. I'm just saying, what's up? I got my coffee. I look handsome, huh? So good. Just line up my beard. I mean, I look good. I look handsome.
Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for being patient, man. Now it's giving me no issues, so we all good. I don't know where
Okay.
KG has me, but man, I appreciate all of y'all, man. That was a decent. Oh, that was definitely. Let's talk about you though. Y'all went in on the first half of, man. That was epic. What's
Yeah.
going on with you though, Sean? What you feel like talking about?
1 second. I'm grabbing something real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I didn't do that fight after we talked about it.
I remember you said that on your
Said that on your live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was a whole lot of stuff that went into that because I had said that I wasn't gonna do it, but then the next day I came on in a different wig and said I was gonna do it, and then I just went back and forth. I was trolling, but what made me actually not go was the guns there.
They had guns?
Yeah, people were walking in there with guns.
Oh wow, yeah, no. See, that's now. You remember what I said before? It was time for your fight time. We was on the I hopped on your lot the first time. Right,
Yeah.
That's why I stay with professional boxing. I don't do that
Yeah.
rap bullshit. You can't. I said that. I'm like, you can walk in with guns and all type of shit. In a real boxing event, you get checked by. There's cops waiting for your ass at the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that shit for the birds. I don't have time for that bullshit. You don't get no points off of that, and they don't pay.
Yeah.
I'd rather do this shit professionally, make some history, put some stamps to my name, knock a nigga the fuck out, take my 10,000 more home.
I just thought it was funny that they said we're just trying to get a feel to see if anybody's planning on canceling the night of the event, and I said, "Oh, that's what I'm planning on doing."
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that shit's all for the birds, though.
Yeah.
I don't mind you canceling that because that and you know how I feel about high class anyway.
Yeah. There was some janky stuff going on.
There was some janky shit with him going on. Yeah, man. That I heard they doing another one, but I ain't seen it really talking about things.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know how. If I thought I did my job and made it so nobody would think of those as reputable events, but guess not. I guess nobody understood what I was doing.
Right. So what's your future plans, though? You feel like you want to continue boxing to go like the professional route?
No, I'm an entertainer. I'm not a fighter, you know? I'm just big and strong. I'm real strong. So it seems like a logical jump, but there's no reason for me to like walk around injured or hurt myself.
Right. No, I feel that. I mean, you could always practice it and train. You know, that's just a good exercise that you remember.
Yeah, just in case somebody runs up on me.
Right. You always keep yourself prepared. Me, it's my passion, so that's what I prefer to do. I've always preferred it more than music. I love music, but I love the sport even more.
Yeah. But no, I wouldn't do boxing for real for the same reason I wouldn't do like battle rap or something like it's aggressive, you know?
Right.
Which I don't mind. Like, I don't mind sparring with homies and stuff. Like, hey, let's set up, let's put on gloves, let's do whatever. I don't mind doing that. That's fun. But fighting people that actually just are so hateful towards you that they're allowing guns in and stuff, that wasn't what I wanted to do at that event.
I mean, that's such a ignorant ass, unprofessional ass environment. Like, who would allow that to bring that in? You know what I mean? If they do lose and they lose some money, what the fuck they do? Like, niggas that had drinks and shit, that have smoked their little blunts outside.
Right.
They'd have put money on someone, and that dude would get knocked out and they lose some money. Guess what happens next?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's what I said. Them people, they're not going to expand it and go big unless they get like real security.
And then High Class had told me there wouldn't be guns. He had said specifically there will not be guns at this event. It's going to be a high security. We're going to have a security team, all this stuff. And I'm hearing that there was none of that.
And it wasn't that.
No.
It goes against
Legacy
what
no
they're
call
saying.
me.
It's like gloves over guns, and you let people have guns for them events.
Absolutely.
What was your point to this? Like, I'm confused.
Yeah. But so I need to figure out something, because I said I wouldn't blow up or even worry about being an entertainer for real or famous or any of that, any term you want to use. I wouldn't worry about any of that until I was 30, and I'm getting there. I'm getting like 2 years out, but yeah, it's just getting harder and harder to find marketing techniques when everybody falls through on the other end. Like, I pay somebody to do some marketing, and then they fall through, or I get set up for an event and it's just a setup on my life type stuff like that. It's just getting really frustrating.
Yeah, that was my main problem too, where your dedication ain't everybody else's dedication.
Yeah.
You pay people to do this and do that. They're supposed to get the events organized and get things lined up. And it's like, if you have to do all that by yourself, then why am I paying you? Why am I paying my people?
Right.
A lot of people be holdbacks. People don't understand that. People will hold you back. Sometimes purposely, sometimes they do without even realizing they're even doing it. And when you cut them off, that's when the blessings start to arrive, because they wasn't meant to be on your journey.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like one by one I'm seeing that like most people are kind of like that they'll rather pursue the little $100 you give them to do something than like the thousands of dollars you would make if you did back end and were to hit them after everything was said and done with more money. Like, they're losing out on so much just running little scams. It's just like the scam likely that calls you and says your house is under foreclosure, blah, blah, blah. Your car's extended warranty, and it's all scams. That's what people are doing out here.
What they don't realize though, that's gonna bite them in the ass in the process.
Yeah, it is.
It's like Jeff was saying, if you do things the right way, your name gets out. People want to fuck with you because they hear that you do good business. You do bad business, you fucking your name up. A lot of promoters, I say quotations, you can see my fingers. They say they're promoters and they're promoting a lot of artists coming out here last week. A lot of them celebrities is complaining because they wasn't paid for something they was supposed to be paid for.
Yeah.
Guess what? That goes on TMZ. That goes on The Breakfast Club. Now Arizona's marked for doing bad business for JPS promoters.
Yeah.
All the celebrities that came out here last weekend, y'all make them not want to come back there. That bites us in the ass.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's crazy. I don't know, but hopefully one of these podcasts take off. We're planning a new podcast. The last podcast was panels, and that had a bunch of reputable names on it. We were doing like 600 viewers in each live. It was fire, but just some bad advice made me pull it and try and do the clips in post. And once we switched from live to post, it messed up the whole flow of what we had going. But now we're planning on doing it again. This time a debate format where we'll say an atheist versus a Christian debate abortion or whatever. And the host will get blown up, will blow up more and more as they bring better topics and do a good hosting job. But the guests as well will, get more and more status. I don't know. It seems like a good, promising outlook for a way to get my name out there. But I gotta keep fine-tuning it and get it right before I release it.
Absolutely. I mean, that's at the same time I'm doing the same thing. Like you see on my podcast, we're not biased. We don't slander nobody. We don't come for nobody. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. We're just having a casual, open, respectful, and mature conversation. And you see the fans, they really taking the heat of that because we're trying to. My thing is to educate. But at the same time, learn, because the guests I have on there, I'm learning a lot from Jeff. And I learned a lot from KIG and you, and I'm sure KIG learns from me as well. We're learning but educating at the same time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The thing is, if you do good business, it benefits you in the long run. So, like, even if you have to come out of pocket and sorts and do the right thing, it benefits you in longevity. It comes right back to you. I learned that. My sensei, shout out to Box Video, OG and a king in the podcast game, he said a quote. I kind of remember part to it, so if I mess up, I apologize. But he said, if you do things the right way, without taking shortcuts, it benefits you. The journey is long if you do it the right way, but it's more profitable. If you take the shortcut, then you just make it more difficulties. You got there, but now you're making the way to get back a long way for you.
Yeah.
Now you got to create other avenues and shortcuts and do all this other BS and it's just not worth it. Then you see yourself losing funds and losing marketing because you took these shortcuts instead of doing things the right way.
Yeah.
But I've always been a fan of you, bro. I appreciate what you do and I love what you do.
Thanks.
You always know how to market yourself. So you
definitely
good on that. You definitely educated, and you were a good jokester at the same time. That's what's in.
Yeah.
I have 3 different, like this podcast is supposed to be about boxing and music, but you see we talk about other stuff. We did not talk about we talked a little bit about music when Jeff was on there, but we didn't talk about no boxing. We talked about actual governmental, political things that people probably didn't even know about. So it's like,
yeah. But no, I don't know. I feel like it's coming closer to my time.
Yeah.
Like people are aware of what I'm doing. just I see it like at random. I'll inbox somebody like on some work stuff, and they'll be like, "Yo, I remember when you did whatever little scheme or antic I had," and that's cool. Like it inspires me to work harder.
Yeah, I fuck with that. And that's what I try to surround myself with too. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm not growing with you, then why are you in my circle?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not trying to learn from you, why are you in my circle? Like, I want people that motivate me to be better. Like I heard the saying, if you hang around millionaires, what happens next? You become a millionaire.
Yeah.
You're learning and avenuing of how they got to where they got. If you just hang around niggas that just drink and smoke and ain't doing shit all day, then that's your future.
Yeah. You think smoking something that we should stop eventually, or did you already, or what? What's your stance on smoking?
To me, it depends on the person.
Mm-hmm.
Some people smoking, they just sleep and eat, and you know it distracts them from what they need to be doing. And
Yeah.
like, tell me one point. Some people like Wiz Khalifa, where they smoke, it actually gets them on track, it gets them focused, and she met engineers like people that do car repairs and stuff, and they
Mhm.
can't fix the car until they have a blunt first because it gets where they need to be. I can't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You know, I can't be the one that is smoking all the time. I'm gonna be way off to where I need to be. So it depends on the person on what it does for you to smoke.
Yeah, I feel like you should take breaks, even if it does help you. You should take breaks to increase your like the feeling. Like it helps you, but it'll help you more if you take a break and come back to it. Then you'll get more help from it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And yeah, to me, I mean personally, because I'm trying to stop it all, and I've been successful when I'm like sober and don't do smoke and drink. I've been sober drinking for months now,
Mm-hmm.
and that was just because it was my birthday. Before then, I was sober like a year. I didn't even. It's all a mindset. I didn't even realize. I'm like, why I haven't drunk in over a year? My girl and my friends was pressuring me to drink on my birthday last September, and I'm like, oh, okay, but I really haven't drunk anything since then because I don't have the need to do it. It's all about taking yourself out that mindset. So a lot of it is just brainwashing yourself. You know what I mean? Like, we trick our minds to think that we need this. It's like Jeffrey Dahmer about porn. He's been porn free for 5 months. We trick our minds to think that we need this objective, but it's all a mindset. You know what I mean? Take your mind off it and be strong-willed. Eventually, you'll go past like, well, and how long since I watched that? How long since I've done that? And you'll even realize, like, well, I didn't even so done. So it's really all a mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. That was what we were saying earlier about the mindfulness. Like everything affects your mindfulness. Like like watching porn, it might make you less mindful. Or your diet might make you less mindful. But like you got to learn what it is and work it out. Like work it out to be as mindful as you can.
No, 100% agree. 100% definitely frequencies too. That's what the music game. I know XXXTentacion said that before he passed. Rest in peace. It's all about learning certain frequencies to get people tapped in, tuned in. You know what I mean? But what you put out at the same time, when you're trying to find a positive frequency or negative frequency, because those do exist. The spirits we have. We was born on the land of Satan.
Yeah.
All, but we also in the world. We sharing that world with him right now. The spirits that even we don't want it, that's in us, and we reject it. You know what I mean? Like, if a spirit came in and told me to do crack, I have the mindset to I ain't doing that. Bitch, what the fuck? Or, to rape somebody, what the fuck? No, to kill someone. It's all the mindset of what spirits and frequency you listen to do so. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't have that. What's it called?
Discipline.
Yeah, that discipline.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man. As long as you keep a good head on your shoulders, and I know what he said earlier, but I believe in brain. I believe in the higher power of God.
Yeah.
The stories in the Bible is true, and I see a lot of the stuff they talk about in the Bible is happening today, right now.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible prophesies this, and there's so much wisdom where you can't just read the Bible and not gain any wisdom.
Yeah.
It shows you how to be a man. It shows you how to be a woman, how you raise a child, how to go about life. And if you guide by them, it's definitely a prophet. A lot of times, not just specifically, but most certain people who don't believe in religion or God, they don't like being controlled.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like that there's a higher power against them. He believes in a higher power. Most people that don't believe in a higher source, they don't want to be controlled and believe that there's someone over them, but there is.
Yeah.
We on borrowed time.
Yeah.
That's just my
What you got going on recently? The Netflix thing?
Yeah, my fight got pushed back to June, and I'm feeling better now, but I was sick for the past 2 weeks, so I didn't train or anything up to get back into it probably first thing Monday. I'm waiting for this check to come in so I can send it to the people for the Netflix thing so we get some things started, and that should be jumping off in spring. Also going to make a book about it too, so people would like to read it, so you have to have 2 avenues. You can read it. You can go on the Netflix and just, do the visual, or you can do both.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the Super Bowl last minute because one of my homies, David, shout out to David Benavidez in his dad, they attended. Me and my girl seen comedian T-Rail. I guess she's really good friends with him. We were going to see them Saturday night. I just went to myself, let the bill stand out the way. My mom is at the hospital today. She just had a surgery, so God bless her. That's mom. I've just been focusing on that. My niece is in the hospital recently too. My daughter's birthday was today. I've just been out the way.
Yeah. That's good. I've been working. That's it. Cause I feel like my next step is to lose weight. So that's all I've been focused on is losing weight, working, getting my money up, whatever. But that's what I've kind of been on. That's why I've been quiet on Facebook a little bit.
Yeah. You keep your journey quiet, bro. A lot of people be praying on your downfall.
Yeah.
And I learned when you announce something, they pray immediately against it when stuff starts getting rocky. But when I keep shit silent, things go so much smoother. And they'll know your next move. They want to know. That's why they tune in.
Yeah.
Like I have people, 200-300 people liking and hearting my statuses and posts or whatever. And I have like 1-2K people watching my stories.
Yeah.
And it's like, y'all want to see what's going on, but you don't support what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, I'd be a fool to think that they was all just, oh yeah, it's all friends. Please, man. Not all for 10 people. I'll say 10 people should be at the spotlight that they have. The agenda that they have with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you keep things private, bro, and announce it when it happens, because at that point it's too late. Like when I
if you make an announcement every time you got something going on, people going either trying to take that or they're going to say that's not going to work and discourage you or whatever. You're giving people too much ammunition.
Or they talk to certain people that they feel they know and put bugs in people's ear and they put to your business. Like if I got a partnership with KIG and we doing this podcast and we announce it before we even do it, I don't believe he would go for it because he doesn't. But hypothetically speaking, like say people, they in his ear, oh that nigga Prince, when he talk about you with the group, they do stupid shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I came in the game as a student. I started a savage and now I'm a...
But yeah, man. Yeah, losing weight, you just gotta be consistent on it. Your first 30 days is gonna be hell. After that, your body will get used to what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get used to what you're doing, and it's like an everyday thing.
What app you playing off of?
You said what?
What app you playing off of?
This?
Yeah, music.
Oh, this is off of the StreamYard, so it allows me to download like my own. It already has a certain like background music.
Mm-hmm.
I could download background music, and I can.
Oh, okay.
How you go? Like if you send me a song, we can mute and hear your song. Like, you know what I mean? So there's that feature too. That's one of my favorite features about it. Like last week.
How do I send it to you? Like a link?
Email it to me.
Okay. What's your email?
Majesty, MAJESTY 662 @gmail.com.
Okay.
Now, anybody watching, I don't mean just blow my fucking email. Like, stay on. For Sean. I don't like you people. Respect you. I'm kidding. I love you. But, and I want to also address it while you send me what you finna send me. I want to also address the fact with KIG. He said that's close to 66. You know, the 662. He was like, that's close to demonic numbers right there. It is, but what that is, 662. It's a shout out to Death Row Records. Death Row was founded by Mob Piru, Compton Piru. You know what I mean? That's not my hood, but that's Mob James's hood, Suge Knight's hood, EDO's hood, Derek's hood. And they use the mob as 662 is like the numbers for the mob. It on the phone it like you put it MOB, so it's Mob Piru. So it's like a dedication to that. That's why I have 662. Prince is strictly holy for anybody watching that got that twisted last week. He had to hop off right quick to send me the okay. When they come in, I'm gonna see when they come in, and I'll definitely add them back. Hold on, it's not letting me add them back. He must be still trying to send it. I don't know if it's my phone or what the fuck be going on. It's definitely that time for a lineup, though. I'm just pointing that out. I'm just chit-chatting until this man come back.
Hello.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, when I tried to exit to do that, it exited me out.
No, that's what was tripping me out earlier. Did you send it through the email?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try to go in and see, but if I might have to restart my phone, but hold on.
Get it?
Yeah, I'm about to add it right now.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm about to mute because it's about to download right now. I'm about to play it.
Okay.
Hold on, it didn't go through. What happened? Hold on. Is it MP3?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Maybe MP4. I don't know. I mean, Wave. Maybe.
I'm trying to download it now.
Okay.
Okay, so it says MP4. I'm gonna exit out, but stay on because I got this app to turn it to MP3. I'm gonna try that and hop back on.
Oh, if it's MP4, then I send it as a video.
Okay. Is it a music video?
No. But that is sent as a music video file. I think. No, yeah, it's an M4A. Not MP4, but it's M4A.
Alright, okay, let me download it via MP3. I'm gonna hop back on.
Okay.
see some more. You barely even fit it through the door. Made me jump with you like I'm a troll. Hey, I don't wanna hear what your ex say. I'ma treat you better anyways. Let me see them and let out the cage. I'm floating off the impact of her body. She turn around and press that ass all on me. I'm thinking, let me make this bitch a mommy. Cause she got me. Her badonka don't go crazy, yeah. She swinging round and round. Her skin is nice and brown. Her garments barely on. We get home, they going down. She's the baddest bitch here on earth I ever found. Don't mistake me for a nigga who can come and paint the picture. Who don't smash these bitches with ya. Don't leave my shit delivered. Don't mistake me for these clowns. They don't eat pussy or go down. They don't make you glad you found. They won't fuck you out your gown. Let me touch that body like a doctor or a nurse. We don't got no babies yet, mama, let's rehearse. I'ma get my sucky, let me lick your first. You want a baller, I put something in your purse. Whoa, that ass, let me see some more. You barely even fit it through the door. Made me jump with you like I'm a troll. Hey, I don't wanna hear what your ex say. I'ma treat you better anyways. Let me see them and let out the cage.
I like wow, man he wildin', come and get your boy calm down. He keep telling me I'm killing it like wow. Another one with him, let my don't run with the niggas. They don't get to run and be wiping the niggas. And I won't pretend I ain't liking them niggas. I hate I see my boy put him down. Yeah, why he do that boy like that? Oh wow. I came from the bottom, they treat us like peasants, but now we got crowns. Okay, cool. When I went by rules, I meant boom. You funny if you think this about you. Wow. The money, what this shit about? See, you got me here like whoa. I'm about to lose control. I ain't coming second, stepping on your favorite stepper. You know I brought my weapon. Wait. Bitch, I reloaded, I pressed it. Shawty got way too faded and sexy. Whoa. Copper to go.
That ass, let me see some more. You barely even fit it through the door.
Wait.
Made me jump with you like I'm a troll.
I don't wanna hear what your ex says. Fuck that nigga, I'ma treat you better anyway.
Let me see them inside out the cage.
Let me sit on his side out the gate. Let me sit on his side out the gate. Let me sit on his side out the gate.
My nigga Sean came through. Well, I was listening on the outside, but I had to restart my phone and shit, so to hop back in the live. But yeah, I turned it into an MP3, so we're gonna save that for the files. We're gonna definitely save that for the files. What was your motive to make that song?
The album, a lot of my albums are about relationships because that's what I deal with the most. Low key, like I be in a lot of relationships, so I deal with that a lot. So that's a lot of what my subject matter is. So this one's no different. It's about real life relationships that I've been through, and that's basically what it was about. Like caring for her or whatever, and that's kind of where I was coming from on that one, like just like love type stuff.
I feel that. I could tell you put
like more
too.
Yeah, more like freak, like what I want to do to her. But that's like the album explains that that's not how that's what everything's about. That's just kind of where my mind's at that point in time on the album.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm definitely rocking with it. It's definitely different, but different is always good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, shit, we've been on there for about almost 3 hours. I got to deal with tending these kids.
All right.
Man, it was definitely good having you on there, though, bro. I appreciate it.
Yep.
You always bring the energy. I definitely want you on anytime. You welcome anytime, but I definitely want you on again. We
Okay.
can do like you, me, KIG, and Jeff Park.
Yeah, I
too.
want Jeff, man. That dude is smart.
Man, we got. Oh, we definitely doing Jeff again.
Yeah.
Whenever he let me know his availability, I'm gonna tap in. We gonna plan it out, and we gonna have some topics we can tackle and get into before we're gonna have it set up nice. But yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
appreciate everybody on here, bro. Jeff, Sean Bender, he came with the real, KIG, of course myself too.
Yeah. Shout out.
Shout out, man. Everybody's on here is a definitely beautiful soul, definitely spiritual in their own sorts of ways. This definitely was a good pod. I like this one almost better than the last one. Probably even, or I like it a little bit more. But we're gonna definitely do this again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Knockout Artist. Sean Bitter, thank you, bro. Yeah, we're gonna keep that song on our files. If you got more, please send them to me. We're gonna definitely promote you the right way. And you
All right.
always family again. Yeah.
All right, gang.
All
All right,
right, man.
man.
Be easy, stay blessed.
Later.